Bonjour, hi, cute freaks. It is Monday, June 8th, World Cup week in the United States and Canada, and there's a show called What Chaos? From the Sports Interaction Studio in Boston, Massachusetts. My name is David Bean. I sit beside the very tastefully dressed Pete Blackburn, and holding it down in the city of the NHL Combine, it's Sean DePaz. Hi, Pete.
Hello, how are we? Happy post-birthday dinner.
Oh my God, man. I have had I've had a few days, let's just say, and famously, a person who was going to make me a cake for my dinner, for my birthday, didn't have enough time to make it, and they were like, "Can I get you on Monday?" So the show fucking goes on. I had birthday dinner day. I had pre-birthday dinner day with you boys. I had belated birthday dinner day. I was getting crazy amounts of happy belated birthday dinner day on Saturday. Got the real birthday yesterday. Got to spend it with my nephews celebrating their birthdays because they have birthdays in this general vicinity. So their birthday party was on my birthday. But wait, you did that?
I was at my nephew's birthday party yesterday, like a week after his actual birthday.
I will take that over any celebration for anything that has anything to do with me.
You're on basic bitch watch.
What's that? I like straight up had like a birthday week.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I generally am anti-children's birthdays.
What? Excuse me?
They don't remember that shit. That's for the parents more than anything.
Children's birthday parties? I think you
I want them to keep having birthdays.
I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how old your nephews are, DJ. I'm just talking like young kids' birthdays. Like a 1-year-old's birthday, I think is a ridiculous concept.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't need to do that.
I know your nephews are older than that, but...
I get it. Like, it's definitely not for the kid, obviously, because a 1-year-old can't really retain anything, but it is worth celebrating that child is turning 1 year old, and the adults in that child's life deserve that moment of celebration and that marker of time.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Sure.
I mainly feel bad for, in chat, let us know, is Sean as loud as the rest of us? I'm hearing Pete louder than I'm hearing Sean, but I mainly feel bad for the parents who have spent a year doing a great job raising this young miracle to then have to plan a birthday party. Sounds crazy. Like, I wanted to give them a little respite and a little siesta.
Here's the thing. If parents are having a 1-year-old's birthday party, the parents are choosing to have that 1-year-old's birthday party. Nobody's forcing them to have a party.
No doubt. Yeah. I'm saying I wonder if they feel the pressure to do it though. You know, get everyone together. And I think that maybe they're thinking, the grandparents are going to want to do it and everything. But hey, to each their own, celebrate anything. Like, if you've raised a child for a year, do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, well, I guess, but it's not like there's not Mother's and Father's Day. Like, there are days pretty specifically designed to celebrate the parents. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's like harmful or bad or anything. It's like as a concept, I think it's a little performative, I guess.
Well, oh my God. Okay. Well, we're doing
Jesus Christ.
Sean, man,
you lost me.
My stonks are back. Sean's the asshole today.
A lot of things in 2026 are very performative. I don't know if having a 1-year-old's birthday party is performative.
I don't mean performative in that sense, I guess. I mean more in like it's like I said, it's a whole thing that's set up as being like, oh, it's for this child.
I'm gonna help
but
you,
obviously
Sean.
The child's not gonna remember it.
I'm going to help you.
I don't feel you don't. I don't need help. I don't feel bad about this.
We're all taking a 1-week break from, like I said, and then clarifying your point a million times. Nope. So we're not going to do that. Just want to acknowledge I was an asshole on Friday, and I feel very bad about that. We can move on from that. But as I see, Sean, you start to dip into the waters of parents throwing your kid a birthday party, let me tell you why. I think you don't need to make it all about you. I could see some parents getting upset about that.
Okay, well, first off, that's not exactly what I'm saying. Secondly, don't lump me in with what you did last week. But I don't feel bad. Like, if people want to get upset at me, that's their prerogative. I'm not going to feel bad about my take.
Here's what I'll say. This is my final note on it. I think the parents, it's all good behavior to have a 1-year-old birthday party. if somebody says that they don't want to go to your 1-year-old's birthday party, I think that no parent should get mad at it.
Okay, so that's
unless they're
okay.
family.
I guess that's the crux of my take ultimately, because that's where this take originates. It was a very famous, and by famous I mean the 5 fans we had in Phoenix knew about it. Like I had this rant on my PHNX Sun Devils show where I was just like, I shouldn't be forced to go to a 1-year-old's birthday party. I think that's the ridiculous
So
concept.
that part I will agree with.
I will also guess, based on personal experience, that when a person, friend, family, whatever, tells somebody, I cannot make it to your 1-year-old child's birthday party, that person, that parent does not give a drop of a fuck. Their life is moving so fast and they're like, cool, got it. I'll probably forget it. Like, whatever. I'm just trying to keep this thing alive. Shout out to all the parents there. And yes, shout out. I was dealing with 8, 6, and 2. So like, and pretty perfect kids. We can.
I've been doing a lot of the 6, 7
close,
with not even that close. Just any 2
Bunch of
numbers
numbers.
back to back.
If
I'll
you
just
hear
hit the 6, 7. It's pretty funny.
You can, yeah.
the
I think
Pope,
it's good.
the Pope 6-7 for
The
D-Day's
Pope
birthday.
6, 7 like crazy. The Pope was like, I cannot wait to hit the 6, 7. Did you see that?
I don't know if I did.
The Pope had a
I
parade
I sent it
June
in the
7th.
group chat for your birthday.
The Pope had a parade on June 7th, I think, for the sole reason so that he could hit the 6, 7 at every given opportunity.
I think it's good. I think it's good behavior. Shout out that Pope. Okay, what's on the show today?
Today on the show, we have so much. We have a packed show today.
Yeah, good thing we did 10 minutes on children we don't know or care about. Hypothetical kids and parents.
Today on What Chaos, we've got a preposterous classic. That is in reference to the Stanley Cup Final because holy smokes, through 3 games is the most psychotic Stanley Cup Final you've ever seen in your life. Game 3 was particularly psychotic. We'll hit some of that. Trophies are da bomb. Literally, because we've got some NHL awards / domestic terrorism collabs that we're going to hit from over the weekend. That one's fun. Shayna Goldman going to join the show. It's a Shayna episode. We're going to talk Cup Final. We're going to talk Dylan Larkin, who may or may not have provided his trade list, which may or may not piss you off to the ends of the earth. And
this seems like a cash grab.
Nice. Is that the one that you added? You mentioned to me before the show.
I kind of shot my wad there, but something I noticed about some of the teams that are on his list, shall I say?
Yeah. We've got this league. League.
I think Sean's got it.
This PWH.
Like this
okay.
league.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. I tried to pronounce the PWH of it all.
You went for it.
Then we're going to hit some 84-0 talk at the end of the episode. That's going to be exciting.
I don't know how much talking we're going to be doing, brother, other than saying Maurice Richard. All right, now give me... let's do swap
great
the era.
audio.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
speaking
you might
of-
want to get to the YouTube for that one.
Speaking of cash grabs, did see that PK Subban put Cash Patel on his Instagram, gave him a photo on the
guy.
put him on the carousel, and basically every comment was like, brother, you suck for this.
Wait, hold on.
I mean, there's a Canadian,
Fuck that
too.
guy.
There you go.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah,
you don't get no W's for... There's absolutely no winning if you're PK in that situation.
I didn't see a single, like, love tasting these liberal tears comment there. It was 100% like... I even saw some people who were like, yeah, I'm kind of Republican, but what are you doing, dude? We don't like that guy. Nobody's into that guy. What are you doing?
That is the sense that I'm getting, is that Cash Patel has kind of lost both sides of the aisle.
I can
yeah.
respectfully to Cash Patel, I can understand why he has. I am not confused as to how Cash Patel has found himself in his current situation. We had one of like the most insane hockey games ever, and I know that the Stanley Cup Final is bonkers, and we are going to talk about that, but Pete and I made the executive decision that first topic today is that the NHL gave Andrei Vasilevsky the Vezina in the most outrageous way you could imagine. The league announced on Saturday that Andrei Vasilevsky, goaltender for the Tampa Bay Lightning, has won the Vezina Trophy for the best regular season goaltender. And if you have not been keeping up with it, the last 2 seasons, going back to last season, they've been announcing these regular season awards via fun, cute videos in which there's a surprise. For example, when Zach Werenski won the Norris, they did a setup thing where they were pretending to do a piece on new dads. And they were talking to Zach Werenski about being a dad, and everyone's gathered, and then bam, it's actually a celebration to win the Norris. Montreal Canadiens players who won their respective trophies were kind of set up to do a simultaneous surprise on each other where they thought, I'm surprising my teammate, but in fact, I'm being surprised by my teammate. It's a cute surprise. The theme is cute surprise. That's the rule. That's the goal. It's a cute surprise. For Andrei Vasilevsky, their cute surprise was a little outside the box. It was, let's make it dangerous. Let's make Andrei Vasilevsky feel that he could maybe be in a lot of serious trouble, or that people, including himself and dogs, are in grave danger. I cut down the video, but Sean, can you hit us with the video, please?
We want to do a ruse with law enforcement.
Ruse.
And put this award into
law
his
enforcement
vehicle.
is a terrible place to start.
No,
We were
this is a
asked
cute
to help
surprise.
present an award to Mr. Vasilevsky. Told him that we're going to search his car and get the dog out and do a big show for him.
Anything in your car that...
Are we on alert?
No.
Did you leave the car like that or no?
No, it was closed.
Okay, I'm gonna open it real quick, okay?
Anything in there? No?
No?
Okay.
It's heavy. You want me to
Do you
open
want
it?
Is that a good idea? None of it was, Andre. And then the happy music.
Congratulations.
And then just like he won the Olympic gold, he gets to celebrate with a bunch of
Is
cops.
this your...
Famously, Andre
Imagine something in that
Vasilevsky.
bag, but still, he had no idea. It was like
Yes.
a sigh of relief.
You
from
can
him.
come
he just
back.
started
You can
smiling
come back.
and
That is
say, "Oh my God."
Presidential Medal of Freedom and Vezina Award winner Andre Vasilevsky. Insane. Do you want to do the fixed version quickly? Because yeah, we have a fixed version where maybe you make it a little lighter if you possibly like sweeten the music or something. Like, does this make it any better?
We want to do a ruse with law enforcement and put this award into his vehicle.
I'll already say this makes it way better.
We were asked to
Still
help
bad.
present an award to Mr. Vasilevsky. Told him that we're going to search his
It's a
car
little
and
better.
get the dog out and do a big show for him.
I sweetened it a little. Is that like a good idea is the best part?
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You know what though? In Trump's America, I think seeing cops take a suspicious package out of a car that they're like, it's heavy. I can feel some metal in here. Just go on and give it an open. Would you really be too surprised? They're like, oh, they just go for it now.
I'm surprised that they just didn't commit to the bit and like send out the bomb squad robot to
I was gonna say,
unzip
get the
the
robot
bag.
dog, yeah.
That is crazy. This is like the NHL awards now have gone from the award show to episode of Punk'd, where like some of the Punk'd pranks are whimsical and fun, and then there's occasionally one where like they pretend that a celebrity killed somebody with their car.
Yeah, you're like, that's not cool.
And you're like,
Some like life-altering trauma.
yes. That's so bad. The starting point being, let's do a ruse with law enforcement is truly unbelievable. And I sent
Just
out
the
a
worst
tweet.
line ever.
I sent out a tweet over the weekend that was like drunk Don Draper. It was like, we pretend the trophy is a bomb. And that's literally exactly what they did.
Yeah, that's not like, oh, you know, if you watch it in a certain way, and if you're just liberal enough, and if you're just suspicious enough of cops, you could spin it this way. Fam, if there's another way to spin it, please let us know.
I feel so bad. He was so uncomfortable. They were like, how you feeling after you win this awesome top of your field award? And he was like, I'm very glad that I don't have to spend the next 2 hours on the phone with my car insurance company.
Yes.
Also, at what point did this happen? Because, like, I don't know. the last thing he did wasn't good. Like the last thing he did was lose. So if this is like the day after you get your team eliminated from the Stanley Cup Final, and now they're telling you there's a suspicious package in your car, you're probably like, yeah,
Did a
thinking
fan
you're
do this?
about to be the victim of a political violence. It was like fucking World Cup type shit.
That is true. The best reaction was from Owen Krebs, who tweeted, "Every other NHL award presentation. Haha, we surprised you at this cookout with your friends and family. Andrei Vasilevsky's award presentation.
We're gonna frame you for murder, and you're gonna go to jail for 30 years.
That's what it is.
What were they thinking?
I'm kind of into this, though, if we're being honest. Like, way more content out of this than we would get from a presentation on NHL Network on a drawn-out ceremony.
Well, respectfully, I skim the other award surprise, the cute surprises. I'm just like, let me get to the cute surprise. That's a cute surprise. Happy for that person. Great season. They deserved it. Other than that, not spending too much time on it. The award show we've talked about got bad, and I think the worst of it was when Joshua Jackson was up there bombing and like blaming the writers and saying like that was terrible. But it did, of course, we cannot talk about the NHL awards without talking about one of the great days in North American history, which was the three of us in Vegas passing around COVID while watching at the same time, double screening Joe Biden and Donald Trump debating, and the final attempt at a proper NHL awards show, which was hosted by an up and coming comedian we didn't know at all called Matt Friend, who did varying degrees of accurate impressions and extremely racist impressions of certain players that not a single person laughed at other than Pete and I in our hotel room being like, this is the most brilliant, like Andy Kaufman-esque shit. We had famously, we'd been offered Matt Friend on our show and we were like, we don't really know who this is. We should like, we're kind of protective of who we do and don't have on our show. Yeah. We need to have a specific plan. And then we watched 1 second of that video and we were like, oh, no, fuck, we'll have him on. And then we looped back after, we were like, we will have him on now. And they were like, Matt's taking a little break.
Yeah, Matt's not doing anything NHL adjacent.
Matt's got to go away for a little while.
Damn, we missed the boat. That was so good. Somebody in the chat had the best summation, I think, of the Vasilevsky thing, which is ethically this is dubious, but comedically ...
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, when someone does something comedically that crosses the line, I know that like Anthony Jeselnik talks about this a lot. He's like, it's not my fucking problem, you cranky, like Joe Rogan worshiping comedian, that you're saying offensive shit that isn't funny. And that like people laugh at my offensive shit because I'm writing jokes. I'm not just going
Thinking
up there
about it,
being,
yeah.
Like if you're going to go there, like it's a risk. You got to be funny if you're going to do this shit.
Took a real risk coming here.
NHL, you took a real risk coming here, and I hate that we all landed on. You landed it, folks. Big laughs all around. We and our audience sees no problem with it. Approved.
Big time.
Just make sure next time you do it, really make sure there's not good, because I could see you trying things like that and it maybe not hitting as much. Okay, let's talk about the Stanley Cup Final, because we've been throwing around terms like classic, mind-boggling classic, preposterous classic. However you want to call it, it is some sort of adjective classic. 3 games into the Stanley Cup Final. Every game has been a 1-goal game. Every game has featured a multi-goal comebacks of 2 goals, and most recently, 4 goals in the third period. 2 of the 3 games have gone to overtime, and the team erasing the multi-goal deficit has won 2 of the 3 games. All of this happening, let's not lose sight of this, all of this happening while maintaining the fact that there is a team people want to win and a team people want to lose. This shit, I hate to hammer the word classic into the ground, but sometimes you overuse the word genius. Sometimes you overuse the word brilliant, classic, whatever. These are things that we ascribe to things to say, wow, I'm impressed. I do think this is a classic, and I do think we're going to talk about it forever.
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on how it finishes. Like if this wraps up pretty succinctly, you're like, because remember like the first couple of games of, I believe, the Panthers and Oilers, we were like, damn, this shit is crazy of the first time around. And we were like, this shit's crazy. And then it started to go in one direction. And then you're like, oh, maybe this is quick. And then comes back around. You're like, okay, this is crazy again. I think that we're all hoping that this continues down the path that it's going, maybe with a couple more wins in Carolina's direction, but it's been insane. And there's absolutely no way that you can argue against the entertainment value of this. And I think the best part about it is that, like, on the aggregate, it's very close, but the swings are absolutely enormous. It feels like a kind of like NBA final or like a basketball series in the swings are huge, and it's a game of runs.
You compared it to 2024, which I think I don't think that you're saying this is the same thing as 24 because it's very different. But through 3 games, again, it's been decided by 1 goal. You'd be like, wow, this is so close. 2024 goes to 7 games, is decided by 1 goal, and you're like, man, this must have been real tooth and nail every single game. And in fact, it was not. We love shit like this, where if you look at the headline, I don't even know what the fucking headline would be for this, but just like the pure, where are we right now? One team's up 2-1. They've been close games. Cool. But as you said, the swings that have had to occur for us to be where we are, it's crazy. Sean, just give me a quick Sean thought on this series.
I don't really have much. I haven't been able to wrap my head around it. I think the calling it like a series of runs is hilarious to me, because that concept in hockey is obviously so ridiculous, but it is exactly what it's been. And it's like, you've seen it in these finals where like Spurs will go up 15, Knicks win that game. Knicks go up 15, Spurs make it a 1-point game, and then they get it. Like, it is very basketball like, and I hadn't thought about it like that. It is, I don't know. It's just a weird ass series, and the fact that nobody seemingly wants it to happen makes it weirder. It's just like it's happening. Well, I think people want good hockey, obviously, but there's obviously a large contingent of people who weren't exactly happy with either of these teams winning a Stanley Cup, particularly the one that's up in the series. And the fact that all of this, like, very well might be the greatest Stanley Cup final of all time if it continues going like this, is happening in defiance of so many people, is just like such like a fascinating experience to me.
That, to me, that layer of it that you just said there is part of why I think this is so incredible, is because nobody really wanted this matchup. Everybody thought that this matchup was going to be ass. They were like, it's going to be 2-1 games. There's going to be no room to breathe out there. It's going to be defensive clinics. You've had 25 goals through 3 games, and just like everything has been super unpredictable, which does not really fit the mold of what you expect when you expect the Vegas Golden Knights and Carolina Hurricanes, 2 of the most structured teams and defensively sound teams in the National Hockey League. This series has been incredibly unpredictable, to the tune of like not only the comebacks and stuff. You had 2 own goals from the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 3, including an own goal winning it in double overtime. So we have been spoiled by how absolutely preposterous this series has been through 3 games.
You brought up the basketball thing, and it's so wise to do it. And Sean, for you to expand upon it, because literally Game 3, I was watching with noted sports guy Tom Giles, and after the 3 goals were scored in 39 seconds, as they're about to drop the puck, I was like, "Coach, timeout! What are you like?" Stop the run, because like if this were basketball, the coach would be like, "Oh, okay, wait a second. Let's just breathe. We'll get our bearings here," because in basketball, obviously timeouts are more frequent in basketball, but you call a timeout there to stop the run. I rarely, when I'm watching hockey, I'm like, "Oh, they got to take a timeout here."
Stop the game.
That was the most basketball feeling I've had while watching hockey.
I mean, this has been an incredible stop the game series, because whether or not it's one team applying belt to ass for extended periods of time, you're like, all right, Game 2, you're like, all right, fucking end this game. The Hurricanes are getting smoked here. Game 3, end this game. The Hurricanes are getting smoked here. And then they start coming back, and you're like, stop the game, Vegas Golden Knights. You need to recollect yourselves.
This one's for the MLS fans. Carlos Heel voice. Stop the fucking game. Oh, my God. Yes.
You want to know what?
Yeah.
Fatima just brought it up in the chat that made me think about it. You know what? Something I haven't heard a goddamn lick of in this series is that the Carolina Hurricanes play boring hockey. And that was like such a narrative for them. And I'll say to, I guess, shit on Hurricanes fans a little bit, like they got all up in arms about it, being like, we don't play boring hockey. We play, and it's like, no, you did play boring hockey, and now you're playing exciting hockey, and people aren't saying that you play boring hockey anymore. So like, you were boring, but they're not anymore. That's a little unexpected.
Okay, let's talk about the Game 3 experience. The Knights have 2 goals disallowed in the second period, then score 4 that count, including, an own goal that kicks off a 6-minute, 10-second Mitch Marner natural hat trick. And foolishly, you're thinking, like,
Kill me.
oh boy. Like, this one is, like I said, I was watching with a friend, and at the end of the second period, kind of looking at him like, you gonna go home now? Like, I didn't want him to leave, but I was like, if you need to like go get back to your wife and kid, I would understand. And
I wish I wasn't handshake children's first birthday party.
Yeah.
Stanley Cup Game 3 party. Wish I wasn't fucking here.
Yeah, but like we're catching up. We're talking about coaching stuff where everything like we keep watching it, and you get to the third period in which we get the Brandon Bussi debut. Freddie Anderson gets yanked, much to the surprise of Mitch Marner. We'll talk about that in a little bit, because on a Hurricanes power play, a couple minutes in, Sebastian Aho, I won't say rightfully tries to, like, understandably holds up Mitch Marner, shall we say? But on the replay, I was aghast. I was like, that is some
egregious.
We're gonna lose this game, and I'm trying to come back in the series, so I'm taking this man's hand off, kind of thing. Leads to a penalty shot on which he doesn't score. We'll talk about that. Golden Knights leading 4-0 with 13 minutes to play, and then the Hurricanes score 3 goals in 39 seconds, and that was one of the great, exciting hockey watching experiences of my life. Sean, do you have, just so we can get some of the flavor of the field, do you have the goals?
Yep.
Thank you. Hit me.
Trying to take it away in front. Martin scores. Edmondson. There's Aho in front, and off the line. It's in. And Layla, and there we go. It's a 1-goal game. Do you believe it?
I mean, I did not have the words out of my mouth to say, because when they scored, you're like, this is still over. And then I looked and I was like, well, there's 12 and a half minutes left. And I was starting to say, I was like, if they score one in the next 3 minutes, then like it is for real again. Oh, there's the one they've scored in the 3 minutes. So like, now we've got a close goal. Holy fuck.
It was crazy, man. As soon as the second one went in, I was like, okay, we could be. It's far-fetched. It's a far-fetched thought. Second one goes in, I'm like, okay, there's enough time here. And to your point, like before that thought was even finished in my own head, the third one goes in, you're like, okay, this is a game.
Group chat was going absolutely stupid. It was... Again, like you can't even come up with it. You can't send the tweets, the texts, or whatever. You're talking to whoever you're watching the game with. Here's the group chat in the What Chaos Extended family as the third goal is scored. Evan Sporer says, OMG. I say, I love this. Young Gritty says, haha, yes. I said, 3 and 39 seconds. Sean says, dog. I missed all 3 goals, LMAO.
Well, it's funny, too, because I'm sure I wasn't the only one, but I had the exact thought when they were up 4-0 that, like, they can't, obviously this is going to happen. Like, they're not going to come back. There's no way three, sure. 3, I get, you got to at least keep your eye on it because you never know, but there's no way they're scoring 4 goals in the period. That's not happening. I can let my guard down a little bit. I have some furniture around my house I still need to put together, like random stuff. I was babysitting my niece and nephew. Like, there's no way they're going to score 4 goals, let alone 3 in fucking less than a minute. Missed every single one.
You had you straight up turned it off, and then you get a flood of texts from me, Pete, and Evan, and Young Gritty, and everything.
I didn't turn it off. I just wasn't in the room. Like I was around doing other things, so I wasn't paying, like, watching the TV. And then I think I looked at the phone at one point, and someone had texted something that I was like, oh, something crazy must be going on, but it didn't register with me that it was 3 goals being scored. So then I went to put on the game, and it was 4-3, and I was like, oh, I must have missed something.
They tied the game. It goes to overtime. Just amazing. If you didn't see the the video of the Hurricanes broadcasters calling the game tying goal, it's just positively mad. And as it went to overtime, Sean, can you pull up the still of Mitch Marner on the penalty shot in the third period? This would have been a historic photo, like a historic freeze frame. The scoreboard says 4-0. It's under 16 minutes to play, and the best player in the postseason is taking a penalty shot.
He already has 3 goals in the game.
Yes, like as hot as it could be. That accompanied by this team lost would have been. I was saying to you, Pete, that's like borderline some like 28-3 shit.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
The only reason it's not is because this isn't Game 7. Like the fact that wouldn't have actually like gifted somebody the trophy. But yeah, that's like one of the worst collapses of all time.
It would have been insane. And instead, of course, the Golden Knights win in overtime. Even still, though, being like needed overtime to win this game shows how crazy this is, and shows how both of these teams going into this has got a little. You did some 2024 Cup Final comparisons. This is going to have a little 2025 Cup Final going into Game 5, where Game 4 was the one where one team was up 3-0, the other team comes back, scores 4 straight, gets tied in the last minute, goes to overtime, like whole kind of thing where each team leaves that game being like, what the fuck did we do? We've got to get our shit together, though. So both of those teams, I think, are going to be feeling that. I think the Hurricanes should feel a little better about themselves than they would have if they had just gone out with the whimper. But both teams, I think, come away from that being like, yo, we've got to get our shit together. On the penalty shot from Mitch Marner, there's some explanation as to why that happened. And I think first it's important to set up the discussion about Mitch Marner on this night, one in which he was just a magic man. Here's Mark Messier.
Midway point of the game, we were scoreless. We hadn't had a single penalty or power play, and then a funny thing happened on the end.
Well, you can imagine these players are great for a lot of different reasons there, but Mitch Marner, he was the first one to know that there was too many men on the ice. You can see when we go to the clip right here. Watch when he gets a puck. Right here. Watch right. His hand goes up right now. He's already counted. He's down there looking at the puck. You talk about awareness. You talk about hockey IQ. That's why they can make plays that nobody else can, because they are so tuned into the game. The only person that I knew that could do that on a consistent basis was Wayne Gretzky. He knew every nuance of the game from every different perspective. He knew if there's 6 guys in the ice, 7 guys in the ice. He knew everything that was going on. Marner showed the same kind of hockey acumen there, and one of the reasons why he's such a great player. He is totally tuned in tonight.
You could not script a better setup to the clip that we are about to play from Mitch Marner explaining why he did not score on the penalty shot.
And then, the penalty shot, I was pretty exhausted, to be honest. Saying that I really didn't notice they switched their goalie. And then I didn't notice he's an offhand as well. So
my man is tuned in. Locked in, brother.
Excuse me? Wayne Gretzky? Is that you?
I feel so bad for Mark Messier in this moment. Like, I know that I've had my complaints about Mark Messier. Interesting bit of intermission analysis, trying to glaze a guy who absolutely worth glazing on that night, had an intermission report to do that day. Marner did him dirty, being like, I had no idea what the fuck was going on out there. No clue.
Mark Messier said, this man is Wayne Gretzky, and there's nothing you can do to prove he isn't. And Mitch Marner said, watch this. Watch this.
And also he said, this is Wayne Gretzky. What's my proof? He can count to 6.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he counted to 6 very quickly in the heat of the moment. Pretty impressive.
He did. I don't have that hockey awareness. I don't think were any of us watching that being like, too many. Like, I was watching it and I was like, oh, Mitch Marner has a question. You see that? The guy has a question. He's raising his hand.
I would say that Marner has the Gretzky thing. So does Eddie Olczyk, because every time there's too many men on the ice, Eddie Olczyk is like, too many men. That's too many men. On the broadcast, he'll just say it until they whistle.
Well, let's get to someone whose hockey awareness is never in question. A favorite of this show and certainly a favorite of the audience. It's the great Shayna Goldman from The Athletic and Too Many Men. Welcome to the show where we're going to get her. Bam! Shayna Goldman. Hey, buddy.
Hey, I love that you bring up the Eddie Olczyk point with the Too Many Men, how he yells it every single time he sees it. And it's like, credit to him for seeing it. We have that as our intro for Too Many Men. Allison pulled it because it's just too good.
I mean, it's good that he says it. It's good that he identifies it. I do think that he can limit how many times he has to hammer it before they blow the whistle, because that's all he will say until the play stops.
What do you think would be
there's 22 Too Many Men calls, I think now we're at.
Yeah, I mean, this has been pretty feverish. What would be the funniest call for a broadcaster to always get way too animated every time it was happening? I mean, famously, Doc Emmerich had icing on lock. He had "it will become," and then as soon as it was called, an icing. But if someone was like...
I mean, if the most annoying one would have to be like a face-off win. Like the play would just be getting started and this person, oh my God, they won the
face-off.
Clean.
That was clean. I would like every time the puck goes out of the playing area, if there were like heavy questions on... did he send that clean out from his own zone? It's like neutral zone. It's like a goalie makes a save, goes into the stands, just hammering. Like we could have a delay of game here. But Shayna, we ran through some of the shit that makes this series crazy. Obviously, the multi-goal comebacks in every game. 2 of the 3 games going to overtime. 2 of the 3 games being won by the team that erased a multi-goal deficit. It is just preposterous. It is insanity. What do you make of this series?
It rocks. Oh my God, it's so good. And I was so worried going into this, like, we're going to have high expectations and be let down. And I've been really disappointed by rounds 2 and 3. So, you know, I was going into this like, is Vegas just going to win in 5 games? And then we're all going to be heartbroken. Not just because of like the result, because I know so many people are rooting against Vegas, but just for like it being so underwhelming, right? And it felt like that quickly could have happened in game 2. And the fact that we're getting multiple multi-goal comebacks is absolutely wild. The fact that we're seeing adjustments in series is really fun. The way we're seeing both teams kind of shift the momentum back to them, because that's a calling card for Vegas, right? All postseason long, it's like, okay, Vegas, they are down, but then all of a sudden they take control and they just crush their opponents to death. And Carolina, we haven't had to see do that. So the fact that they're showing that on the other side of it, it's like, wait, we have this really fun balanced series of 2 teams that might have actually met their match, that are disruptive on both sides of the puck, that, you know, can play the game in different ways, that have the star power, that have the depth. I absolutely love it. I'm so excited. Please go the distance. Please keep this up. But if you're going to suck and be like, one-sided games, just end it quickly. Just put us out of our misery.
Where do you stand in terms of like that coming true, like this going the distance, this being sustainable, this living up to the hype that it's set in the first 3 games? Because like I think that teams on both sides could make an argument and a case for like why they should feel good and why the other team should feel like shit after 3 games. So like, how do you prescribe that?
Yeah, like if you're Vegas, you could look at it like, okay, Carolina came back, but you still won at the end of the day. You have 2 goals overturned. You allow a multi-goal comeback. Your goaltender looks incredibly shaky, right? I have a bone to pick with both these coaches too. Like, what do we have against timeouts? I get it. You want to keep them in the case that you have a 6-on-5 situation, or, you know, we've seen coaches quickly draw up plays, but like after the 2nd or 3rd goals on each side of it, to not call timeouts, I could not believe it. But so if you're Vegas, you could say, despite Carter Hart looking incredibly shaky after that 3rd goal against, you still pulled it out. You can feel pretty good about that, right? And like Mitch Marner showing he's Mitch Marner, you're getting production from everywhere. And McNabb's back, you could be like, we have this on lock, no big. If you're Carolina, you know that you can come back in series. You know that the line adjustments work. And I think that's a huge part of it. You know that you can swap goalies. And it worked. And, you know, now you have 2 to rely on moving forward. I think it's pretty obvious who they should start in game 4. I think Anderson's looked a little behind the ball this series, so I think you can let him rest and figure it out from there. And also, if you're the Canes, you got Sebastian Aho going. That might be like the biggest deal of all, that you feel like you can come back in this series. I think that was a fantastic game from him. That keep-in that he made on the tying goal on the power play late in the third period, he keeps it in. I cannot believe he gets the puck out of the air like that. Then he makes a pass off the boards. And right there, I'm like, mistake, mistake, mistake. I'm literally yelling at the screen like that was way too risky. You could just see how Vegas could pick the puck off, streak the other way. You're totally cooked here. And it works out. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not questioning you, Sebastian. You've had a fantastic game. So now that you have him going, you can feel pretty good if you're Carolina, right? Because we've all said it. If you can't get that top line going, you're totally screwed. Well, guess what? Jarvis and Aho are now going.
So you are going Brandon Bussi in game 4.
Yeah.
Hell,
I mean, to look.
yeah.
Yeah, look how sharp he was. He has not played since what? April 14th? I know it works out that like he only saved like a goal above expected at the end of the day, but he played 45 minutes, comes in, looks very aware, looks very sharp. I think also the way that he's helping the breakout is a lot different than Anderson. He's a little bit more athletic, a little gutsier with how he handles the puck, and you could see it. He was getting the puck and just, forcing it up the ice. And I think that's going to help the Canes a lot in this series, because we know Vegas is really a forechecking team. Plus the other detail, like Marner said, the offhand catching, that's something now all of a sudden you have to prepare for a little bit differently. I would go Bussi. If it doesn't work out, flip it back. It helped him with the momentum.
I would go Bussi, but I would take it one step further. I would go Bussi wearing Anderson's equipment to further confuse Mitch Marner, to really throw him for a loop and eliminate him from the series. I feel bad about like the way that I went in on Freddie Anderson in game 3 in like the group chat, because that was so clearly not 100% his fault, because the team was just an abject disaster in front of him. But at some point, you do need a big save. And he's not in, like, it's hard to say he's not giving you the big save when he's stopping like a couple of breakaways.
Yeah, we were talking, you were like, fuck, need a save there. I was like, totally agree. Also, in the last like 5 minutes, he's stopped 2 breakaways, but I'm still like, but also need a fucking save.
But like stopping the breakaways and then immediately giving up a couple of goals that are shot basically directly at you and they go through you. It like takes away the impact of the breakaway. So like, I would absolutely go Bussi, just in the sense of like, he is not, obviously it's a smaller sample size, he's not giving up goals that feel like backbreakers.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And listen, I understand why they went with Anderson to start the playoffs, because after the Olympics, like, Bussi's game completely fell apart. And it's even weirder that happened as the defense got better, right? Because the defense, once Slavin returned, was so much better for the Canes than it was to open the year. But Anderson earned the net and he maintained it through 3 rounds. Okay. But you get to the Stanley Cup Final, and I just feel like his reaction times look a little bit slow, and he looks a little bit sloppy too. And while you're right, it's not all his fault. It absolutely isn't. And he's come up with some of those breakaway saves. You also need the timely saves, which they're not getting. And the Canes look so overwhelmed defensively at times. Like in each of these games, there's been stretches where it just feels like Vegas has their number and they can just keep piling it on, right? Whether they're forechecking, whether they're coming in with these odd man breaks, that you need a goalie that's kind of like a little bit more ready and looks a little bit faster on that than he has. So yeah, I definitely think that you could make the swap now, feel good about it, and know that Bussi handled things and ran the Canes up the standings when they weren't playing the best hockey in the world, when they were playing poor defense.
I know you share our propensity for getting way too focused on and frustrated by nonsensical awards talk, where someone's like, hey, I mean, we do the, how does this affect Nathan McKinnon's Hart candidacy whenever anything happens ever? That game 3 must have been a good one for you, because, I mean, and I'm sure you've said, like, Carter Hart is not going to win the Conn Smythe. He's just not going to. He's not going to get the votes. And also, he hasn't had the performance. But does that game for you put to rest any concern that we're going to have to keep having this conversation about, is anyone but Mitch Marner going to win Conn Smythe for Vegas?
Yeah, it felt like game 1, the Carter Hart argument finally was like put to rest. It should have been like, here it is. It's not like he's earning a shutout here. And I know it was easy to look at game 2 like, but oh, maybe he will. Well, he didn't. At the end of the day, he didn't. He allowed goals on 3 straight shots in 2 consecutive games. So kick that one out. And I know the Howden talk started ramping up after game 1, and I understood it because at least in game 1, there were a lot of like individual efforts and battles won by him. But generally speaking, Howden's playing so well because of who he plays with. And I'm not here to discredit him. Like, scoring goals is hard. Scoring goals in the NHL is even harder. In the Stanley Cup Final, even tougher, right? But when Jonathan Marchessault won the Conn Smythe the last time around for Vegas, I thought it should have been Jack Eichel. You know, he's the straw that stirs the drink, or whatever you want to say. He was quarterbacking the plays. I thought Marchessault did a little bit more outside of just feeding off of Eichel's passing that it should have earned him it. So if Howden were to win, I think it would have been the same thing all over again. And I think Marner's doing so much with and without the puck to be the guy. But if it's not going to be Marner, I will say I would be good with Shea Theodore at this point as well. I think Marner sealed it in game 3. But if we're going to say there's a runner-up, I would definitely say Shea Theodore. He has been fantastic on both ends of the ice. You look at it in his shifts, how little they're able to generate from the middle of the ice. He's been fantastic offensively, even if the points aren't popping as much as we know they can for him. And he's doing it without being the power play 1 quarterback all the time. Like, yes, they went back to that, I think, in the 3rd period last game, instead of running that 5 forward unit. But to be able to put up points and drive play offensively without those minutes, I think is key. But it's just the shutdown play. But it's Marner. It's really Marner or bust.
I feel like it's Marner or bust, and we're approaching like Marner if either team wins.
Marner on
territory.
McDavid watch?
Yeah, like I think it's very possible.
Oh my God, that would be
and
something.
honestly, like the Logan Stankoven of it all, I know he's got a bunch of goals, and like his point totals probably may not get him as close as you might think.
He hasn't played enough games, though. Like, sorry for being on a good team that mowed down the Eastern Conference.
So if Carolina wins, I feel like my vote might go to Stankoven just based off of the one play from game 2 where he gets them back. Like, this series may be a sweep if he doesn't get Carolina on the board in game 2 with an individual effort. And then plus how many goals he's come up with throughout the course of the playoffs. Like, that would be my reasoning for why Stankoven gets it for Carolina.
I would also say, and I do need to apologize for the, like, how are we talking about anyone but Mitch Marner? I'm pretty sure there is a clip of Pete and I watching Brett Howden score his 1,000th goal and me saying, like, fuck, how does he not win Conn Smythe if he keeps scoring like this?
But that was before Mitch Marner had a hat trick.
We had a show to do that day. Fuck, what did you say I had a point on? What did you say last?
Marner either way or Stankoven.
Yes. Okay. I think that if it's Marner no matter what a beautiful reflection on the Carolina Hurricanes. What a, like, yeah, we're the fucking team with 5 number 2 starters, and here's our World Series trophy. Like that, like, talk about steering into the skid and being what you are. That would be, because that's impressive if you win the Stanley Cup without the person who is doing it all themselves.
I mean, it would be so perfect for Carolina because people said that they couldn't win without a star, and they end up winning without a star. Plus, the guy that they tried to target as the star that they wanted to acquire ended up winning Conn Smythe. So there you go. And it still pisses off Maple Leafs fans, even if he doesn't win a Stanley Cup. Yeah. So there you go. Hell yeah.
You talked me into it. I'm in. I like this, especially the whole, like, they don't need a star, but now we're just torturing the Leafs even more. It's really perfect. I think the tough part of it is, too, it's like, if you want to isolate one player for Carolina, it's like, well, how the hell do you do that? Going into the Stanley Cup Final, I would have been like, you know what? Second line, sick, right? No notes, no complaints. I would have given it to Taylor Hall. I felt like he was the one driving the bus. And I thought it worked well for Stankoven, right? He hasn't had to pass the puck as much. He hasn't had to be the puck carrier because it's generally Hall, sometimes Blake, that it just works. Everyone has their own role. But then we get to the Stanley Cup Final, and I'm like, you know what? I'm back on the Stankoven train. Nothing against Taylor Hall. He's been great too. But you're seeing the way that, like, this short king is winning these battles. And I'm like, yes, there we go. That's the pick. The other part of it is when you look at Miller and Walker earlier in the postseason for them, I'm like, well, Miller's been fantastic, but you look at how Walker is leading the breakout from his back end, and that's something the Canes don't have enough of generally, right? Like, we know the system, we know they can chip and chase, but maybe that's causing some of the wear and tear. Maybe by having more of a rush game that they're able to have this longevity through 4 rounds, which they generally don't have, and he's one of the guys making it happen. And then round 3 happens, and I'm like, actually, I'm just kidding, give it to Miller. And now I feel like he's had his moments in this series, but I don't think he's been as strong either, that you're like, okay, so now we're back to square one again. Like right now I'm kind of Stankoven and I'm kind of not, because I can make the case for 10 other guys. But yeah, they get by as, a by committee team. So give it to Marner. Why not? Like that's the trophy nobody wants anyway if you lose the Stanley Cup. So I think it just makes for even like funnier narratives. And I just want to see it happen, just see everyone implode.
Sean, what's your future again? You have some. Do you have Andrei Svechnikov?
Svechnikov, yeah.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Good luck.
Svechnikov, no matter what.
But again, that
the
was
one guy on that top line who has not hit his stride.
The top line is back, and Svechnikov is the one who is probably furthest from winning it of the 3. Okay, we're going to shift to Dylan Larkin's stuff because we did get an update from the great Helene St. James, who reports there are 3 teams to which Dylan Larkin would currently accept a trade. Here they are, in no particular order: the Florida Panthers, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Minnesota Wild. I will note that 2 of those teams have something in common.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, fuck. Wait, wrong one.
This seems like a cash grab.
That's right, folks. No state income tax. It's all about the money for Dylan Larkin.
This seems like a cash grab.
Pete, your reaction to... I mean, I make the cash grab joke, but I think a lot of people see this and they're like, are you even trying, man?
Yeah, it's lame as fuck. That's my reaction. The Minnesota one, by all means, that one's cool, fun. It's a team that's on the precipice of really popping, and he gets to go and play with Quinn Hughes. But like the Florida and Vegas just seems like, all right, so you just want a layup in terms of joining a team that's already pretty stacked and you think is going to pave the way for you to get a ring.
Sean, what's your problem?
No, I have no problem. I'm putting a thumbs up. I love this shit. This is I'm a KD fan. Like, we don't get to live in a world. I've always believed we don't get to live in a world where you judge people based on their accomplishments, and then when someone tries to put themselves in a good position to achieve those accomplishments, they get criticized for it. Like I have no time for that. If he wants a ring, if that's what his goal is, go to the teams that give you the best chance to do that. And if you also get to make a little more money while doing it, that doesn't hurt.
But he doesn't want to go to Carolina.
This seems like a cash grab.
Well, chat points out that like you've got in that mix Eichel, Tkachuk, Quinn Hughes.
Oh yeah.
And obviously there's more in Minnesota, but like we made the point last week, this does feel like it ties back to Team USA, and that's not diverting us from that theory at all.
Shayna, how you feel?
Yeah, the Team USA theory is real. The no state income tax theory is real. And like from Larkin's perspective, I understand that he's going, okay, I've been on a shit team for a century and a half now, and my general manager has not done anything to put us in a position to win. So I want to go to a team with the general manager that will win at all costs, right? Vegas and Florida step right up. It's perfect. I also think with Vegas, you look at how they kind of let players write their own narratives there, and they give everyone a clean slate. Like there's a reason they've become a destination, right? It's the commitment to winning, and it's that they say, okay, we don't care that you have playoff demons. We don't care that you have this pedigree. We don't care. Clean slate, go thrive. And it works, right? Like look at Martin, you look at Eichel, you look at Tortorella, you look at William Karlsson, you can go through the list of players, and I get all of that. But if I'm Detroit in this situation, I'm going, that's nice. Cool. Not happening. Like, at the end of the day, this needs to be a hockey trade. We generally see players who get to guide their own futures. And listen, I understand why he has the no trade clause. I understand why he has a say in this, right? This is a player who absolutely earned one of those. This is not your third line guy, whatever. But it's different from, say, Claude Giroux at the deadline when he's in Philly, months away from becoming a UFA, saying, okay, this is where I want to go, right? And you have to kind of do it, or you have to sit on your hands and let him walk for nothing on July 1st. So Detroit doesn't have to just go, okay, here you go. This is the trade you want. This is the trade you're going to get. And I think that they have to work this, into their favor a little and try to get him to expand his list, because these teams have nothing to offer the Red Wings. Vegas and Florida tend to be the winners of the trades that they're in. They have very few assets left. Minnesota doesn't have a ton of assets left. I think they're a little bit better of a trade partner, though, and make a lot more sense, than Vegas and Florida might. But maybe there's a way to try to say, what if we open the door to Utah? What if we open the door to Boston? How about New Jersey? If there's anything to the Heishier rumors, which I don't think that there should be, but let's say there are, right? I think there's a way to have that conversation and kind of pull this out a little bit, because the flip side of it is saying, well, he's a captain. You can't go into camp with a captain who doesn't want to be there and a disgruntled player. It's going to set the vibes all off. And I understand that, right? Like, we've seen that happen with other teams. I don't think that Larkin is that guy. I don't think that Larkin is going to go in and half-ass it. This is not going to be some Pierre-Luc Dubois situation, right? I just think it's a little bit awkward.
Can I also raise the point? Sorry. Can I also raise the point that he doesn't necessarily need to be captain going back into camp?
That is a very important point here. This is a very important point. Like, you want to play that game and say, well, I'm going to give you teams that are going to put you in a terrible situation. Listen, Larkin doesn't owe them anything at this point. If the relationships are as sour, it can go the other way. So I'm going to be fascinated by it, because I know it's easy to say, well, Yzerman was in this situation before with his captain. Look at Marty St. Louis in Tampa Bay. And you would be right. Marty St. Louis was also at a different phase in his career. The relationship was not all of this. And he also got something legitimately good back. He got Ryan Callahan back. I get it. It's like still a little bit of like a difference in the trade, but you could make the case that Ryan Callahan was in the right age range for where the Lightning were, and it worked out for them too. So totally different situation here. But if I'm Detroit, you don't want to totally destroy the relationship, but if the relationship already sucks, then you got to do what you got to do. And Detroit has to think about their, current situation and their future, even if they contributed to Larkin getting to this point.
Couple of things. I think that we all agree, if it has to be one of those three, the most realistic package and the most sensible place to send him if you're Detroit probably is Minnesota. I think that Vegas is interesting, because while I agree that like Vegas and Florida don't have a lot to offer, I wonder if there's a like Dorofeev thing that can happen there, where they're either worried he's going to get offer sheeted, or they don't want to give him a ton of money. And they're like, you know what? If we can lock in a player for, I forget if he's 8.75 or 8.25, whatever Larkin is, but like, you know what? That's going to be a lot more cost effective than continuing the Pavel Dorofeev experience. Maybe we do something there. And lastly, on the Florida Panthers, I know that they don't have much to trade anyway, and I know that Steve Yzerman would essentially be resigning if he traded Dylan Larkin in division to a perennial Stanley Cup contender that's just going to make it impossible for the Red Wings to do anything the next few years. But from the Panthers standpoint, I think Bill Zito is like doing the I wish I wasn't wearing this fucking Sam Bennett contract thing right now, because you're like, oh God, we gave $8 million to Sam Bennett and then we could have gotten Dylan Larkin. He's not getting Dylan Larkin no matter what, but do with that what you will. I think that the Wild are the most sensible of those three, even if your point is well taken, Shayna, that this ends in expand your fucking list, dude.
Dude, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. Like Stevie Y has got to be pissed off at this whole situation, but I can't imagine him being any less pissed off getting the list and seeing that those three teams are on it and be like, are you fucking kidding me,
That's
dude?
why I think that maybe we don't try to do too much who's the source on this story talk, but my guess is this came from the Red Wings, because this doesn't make Dylan Larkin look very good.
No. Yeah.
No, not at all. And it's like, I'm trying, as we're talking through these teams, like trying to like come up with trade packages in my head. Like, could you make it Mackie Samoskevich or Lundell? But I look at Vegas and Florida in particular, and I'm like, okay, these are two teams that have 3 centers signed. And this is going to be like the really interesting part of it too. Like, now all of a sudden you hear like, could the Islanders make sense? Well, it's like, if they have Matthew Barzal, it doesn't, because if you're going to acquire a center, you are probably paying the cost of acquisition for a center. And that's not cheap, unless of course Larkin throws a fit. The Red Wings say, okay, sure, whatever you want, King, and just send him wherever he's asking. Like, that's a different conversation, right? But the price of a center, if you already have 3 centers, is kind of ridiculous. Who are you shifting to wing? It's like, at some point now you're overpaying in some which way, whether it's contract, cost of acquisition in the first place. And I think that just makes it even, messier. I would think though, the way Vegas could win a trade like this is like, say they decide to keep Dorofeev, and I think that makes a lot of sense. I think they're one of the few teams who can make Dorofeev be Dorofeev, right? Because he's not a play driver. He's not, a playmaker. He's not great defensively, but you can maximize his skill and make him a total star, which they have. It's who do they send out? Could you say, like, here's Ivan Barbashev, and say he has 2 Stanley Cup rings by then? Who wants him? Get a bunch of assets and then go for Dylan Larkin? You totally could, right? Because no one should be helping Vegas out and taking their loose change. Like, you can't be the next Vegas Golden Knights. Sorry, I don't care if you replicate their entire roster. You're getting them older at this point. You're not getting them at the right point or necessarily in the right system, so it just doesn't always work out. But teams will go for that shit. Teams always go for that shit and say, oh, okay, this guy won there. We'll take him right off your hands. Like, they're helping themselves when they're really just helping Vegas clear cap. So there's a way for Vegas to somehow get assets and then make a Larkin trade.
I've got a team that has a famous American gold medalist that has a similarly priced center, I believe similar age, they could move out, and a whole lot of shit they could attach to that admittedly worse center. What if the Buffalo Sabres say, hey, let's do Josh Norris and a whole bunch of shit not named Konsta-Helenius? And Sean, your posture, if I could ever sit up the way that you just sat up, my trainer would think he did the impossible, because I have a very bad back and a terrible spine, and you just were like, oh, hell yeah. I know that you would do that. Shayna, do I have anything there?
Would I do that if I'm the Sabres? Maybe. Like, at the right cost, sure, because I feel like Larkin could kind of go against the grain of some of, like, the rush-based talent they have. He's great on both ends of the ice, a little bit more durable, also has the veteran experience, and he's not too old that all of a sudden you're like, well, he's completely out of their age range. You're not giving 8 years or 7 years to a 30-year-old, right? Like, it's totally different saying that's 2 years of Larkin. But if you're Larkin, do you go for it? Yes, the Sabres turned the corner and got to the playoffs faster than the Red Wings against all the odds, right? I don't think any of us thought that would happen if you asked a couple years ago. But is that really what you want? I don't think so. As much as, like, Yarmo knows how to spend and has the general manager vibes that he should be looking for, he's the anti-Yzerman because he will take swings even if it makes no sense. Like, he is very bold with that. I'm not sure you go to another city that doesn't have this huge pedigree unless this past playoffs convinced him otherwise.
An American captain saying, get me out of this city and send me to the Sabres would be the most full circle, amazing thing in the world after what they experienced with Jack Eichel. Sean, I'll give you the floor to wax poetic about that idea.
No, I mean, the only thing that scares me is, like, I brought this up the other day, like, why does he want out of Detroit? And if you're worried about, like, leadership problems and him being maybe like a little locker room cancer or whatever, I'm not sure that the Sabres are as awesome as the vibes appear to be in Buffalo. I think they're a little too closely removed from the dark times to be adding someone. It's a similar thing with, like, Elias Pettersson. Like, I'm not sure you want to add something like that to something that might be as fragile as the Sabres right now. Maybe it wouldn't be a problem, but, like, I would like it just on paper, but there would certainly be a concern there.
I also I feel like the ideal fit for Larkin is a place that already has a bona fide number one center and allows him to slot in as a 2C where he can be a lot more comfortable and not have to have the production expected of a 1C. Is that right or wrong?
Totally agree.
Totally right. Is Dylan Larkin, he's not your top high-end 1C. And listen, I get it. McKinnon, McDavid, they set the bar really, really, really high. But, like, on a contender, how many times do we see someone that could be a 1C somewhere else become a 2C? It makes all the sense in the world. Hurdle was a 1C with the Sharks. With Vegas, he's a 2. You can make the argument this postseason maybe he's the 3 to William Karlsson because you have the Mitch Marner effect, right? But, like, yeah, absolutely, 2C, let him cook. I think that would be the best spot for him, especially as he gets into his 30s.
Okay, I apologize. I said you were coming on to talk about the Stanley Cup Final and Dylan Larkin, because you know damn well this was going to be a session where I lose my mind about the Fleet losing Alina Mueller. Yeah. We texted about this a little. Like, PWHL with their expansion process the last couple of days has definitely had their NBA free agency kind of thing where you're checking Twitter and you're saying, holy fuck, this player did what, or holy fuck, this team did what. And a lot of it's been, holy fuck, Megan Duggan is doing what? Not wasting any time in making some bold moves. When I say bold moves, just like clearly they're letting her spend and going out and doing big things for Hamilton. Some of the notes so far, Daryl Watts gets a bag from Detroit. They also signed Hannah Bilka, Kayla Barnes, Britta Curl. Everyone was psyched about that last one. Hamilton gets Alina Mueller and does so, I believe. I don't know if numbers have been reported on Alina Mueller, but from what I hear, it was going to take a lot to have Alina Mueller leave the fleet after being unprotected, and that was reached. And now Alina Mueller will play in Hamilton, much to our chagrin. They also signed Nicole Gosling from Montreal. So how do you feel about this expansion process, and maybe relative to like last year's?
I think that it's 10,000 times more convoluted. Like last year's, it took a minute to understand, but then once you did, you're like, okay, I totally get this. This is not that. That being said, I kind of like it. Like I like the player choice element of it. And obviously we're seeing already like Brianne Jenner's team doesn't want to keep her in Ottawa, so she had to make a new choice, right? But the new choice works out for her. And I understand the decision too. When you look at, the age, giving the multi-year contracts, I'm not sure I love that aspect of it for Hamilton, but then you look at everything else that they're doing and you're like, let Megan Duggan cook, because that's incredible. Like Mueller is a total star. She's a cornerstone to build around. So is Emily Clark. Like Gosling's sick. You have a great goalie. I feel like they're doing amazing. Detroit, they look fantastic. I am very concerned for the Torrent to lose Bilka and Barnes. That's a really, 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 really tough one. I didn't love their
Far be it
protection
from
choices.
a Seattle team to have like an exciting year one and then just like lose all their excitement in their steam.
Like,
The
why?
Seattle hockey fans are going to be like, well, hockey's cool for 1 year and exactly 1 year.
They're Don Draper. They only like the beginnings of things.
Yeah, those like Peace Collective sweaters too, the really sick ones. I got a Torrent one because I'm like, oh, I love this one. I love the logo. I love the color, because I'm not one to generally wear much color, and I don't know who I'm going to be rooting for wearing that in the future. I just have like gear from all the teams. I'm collecting it all, but like I'm a little upset for the Torrent because I felt like they had so much momentum to build on. I know it was a tough year for them on the ice, and you could look in the standings, but like the potential was there. So now they got to find a new core. It does kind of feel like I don't love that for them. Vegas is the most surprising one, right? Like Vegas in the NHL is the destination and we know it, and Fires are not diving at the chance to go there yet. So I think that's pretty fascinating for them. But like the entire process to see its players like wanting to go there, we haven't seen it. Not everyone's using that expansion foundational offer that like you have to sign. And I think if you don't use it here, you completely lose it. So that's going to be tough for some of those teams. But yeah, I feel like as it's explained step by step, it makes more sense to us, I think, right? Like we get to each phase and we're like, okay, this is what happens here. All of a sudden it kind of works out. But I'm going to be curious how much these new look teams look at Detroit and Hamilton right now and go, oh my God, they're stacked. We said the same thing last year about Seattle and Vancouver. And we saw how hard it was to build a team out of nothing, right? And the Golden Knights are the one exception to the rule in this, that they were able to bring a bunch of guys together and make them play like a team. That didn't happen in Seattle and Vancouver this year. They get a bunch of players together. They don't necessarily look like a team. So how's it going to work? Like who's going to learn from that experience here? I don't know. But like on paper, I like what those two teams are doing above all else.
Was 3 the right number for protecting players? Because, I mean, you'll cater it to your own fandom where, I mean, if you're a Fleet fan, you're like, it should be 4 because they had 4 players that were absolute no-brainers and they have to leave one unprotected and they lose that player. But zooming out and making it league-wide, was 3 the right number to allow teams to build good things without really screwing over other teams that I think have done a good job and built their groups?
I feel like 4 would have made some sense, but I also see the value in 3, especially because they gain more protection slots along the way, which is how it was last year too. Like in theory, you're getting 3 and you're being told you can keep a foundational player at each position if you want, right? Like you can have a core of forward, defense, and goaltending. And that's a really good thing to have, right? Like not everyone's going to operate that way, but that is kind of an edge of you can make sure you have kind of those cornerstones, right? Because we see how teams like not to compare the women to the men. I do not want to do that, but it's just like, it makes too much sense to not talk about it this way. But like, you think about the Carolina Hurricanes and how they've identified Aho, Jarvis, and Slavin are like their guys, and everybody else over the years has been interchangeable around them. The system works because you keep those foundational pieces. So it feels like you could kind of do that here. Would I like 4? Yeah, a little bit. But I think with it being more than 2 expansion teams this time around, you kind of had to be a little bit more flexible on day one, especially because like if a player for the most part is leaving, they also want to sign with that team.
I did have a compare the women to the men thing, but I mean, with how well you know both leagues, I just want to ask it. Is goaltending more important in the PWHL than it is in the NHL? Because the actions of the teams protecting their players suggests to me, yeah. Like if throughout the league, teams could only protect 3 players in the NHL, I wonder how many goalies would be on that list. And throughout the PWHL, I feel there's like no brainers. Like that is like Aaron Frankel is so important to what you do. Gwyneth Phillips is so important to what you do. Debian is so important to what you do. And I feel like a lot of NHL teams don't really value goalies that way. Is it more important in the PWHL right now?
That's a really interesting question. It's kind of like a fascinating thought because for the most part, like it feels like there have to be different priorities, you know, for women's and men's hockey, right? Like the value of a face-off in women's hockey, especially before this much contact was allowed, was more important because after you win the initial face-off, like it's harder to win the puck back if you're not hitting players to do it, right? And we saw that correlation to face-off wins, 2 shots on goal from all 3 zones was stronger for women's hockey than it was men's hockey. With goaltending, though, I don't know. Like, I wonder how much it is just that there's so many fantastic goalies on this. Like, you could look around and spot 3 or 4 cornerstone goalies without blinking in the PWHL. And you're also going head to head with some of the best shooters in the world, but you're doing it differently than you might at the national level, right? Because you're not getting, 3 insane lines from Team USA on a nightly basis. You're getting a totally different lineup where it's like, here's your regular team formation. I feel like in the NHL sometimes, like the goalie, how much goalies are valued just like ebbs and flows every couple of years based on who wins. When Andrei Vasilevsky wins back-to-back Stanley Cups, everyone's like, goaltending matters. Then all of a sudden the Avs win, they're like, goaltending doesn't matter. And it's like, but Darcy Kemper is good, but it doesn't matter. And then Bobrovsky, you have the $10 million goalie winning and everyone's like, wait, goalie matters. It matters again. It really all depends on how your team's built. I think if you put together an elite defensive core and you control play, like say the Vegas Golden Knights or the Carolina Hurricanes, you can get by without elite goaltending. If you don't, and you're say the New York Islanders, the New York Rangers, you need that cornerstone in net. So I think we're going to learn a lot about the PWHL over these next few years, especially as we see this expansion, keep building on all these teams start building from the expansion points, right? And we see more contenders come up the ranks. Maybe we'll have an answer to that better. I don't. Maybe someone better, smarter than me and more experienced on the women's side does. But I'm not so sure. It does feel like, though, like Ottawa or Montreal or Boston would not be what they are without their goaltenders. But then again, it's similar to the men's side. If you're a team with that franchise goalie, obviously everything starts with that point. You can change how you think about the game knowing you have that kind of goalie behind you.
I wonder about the economics of it too. Like you mentioned, like Bobrovsky costing $10 million. The drop off from paying an elite goaltender money is significantly different in the PWHL than it is in the NHL because the salary range is smaller. So you can probably justify keeping your elite goaltender or protecting your elite goaltender for that reason, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, man. I'm just imagining like the madness that would have occurred if, say, the Fleet were like, and the Fleet were in a tortured position, I think, in submitting their list of 3 players. But if they were like, we think we'll be able to keep Aaron Frankel, there would have been like people would have been running into the streets freaking out. And I just don't know how many, granted, people in the chat were saying DJ's perspective on the importance of goalies in the NHL is warped because I'm like, just have Stu Skinner take you to the Stanley Cup Final. But I truly do think that right now, and you are right that it ebbs and flows, kind of like running backs in football. Let's just compare every league of men, women, everything, where like There are stretches where in the NFL they're like, running backs not important as long as you can find one anywhere. And then there are years where they're like, we need to take a running back in the top 10. So ebbs and flows, different leagues, different things. But damn, yeah, I'll end with this. And I know your thoughts on it, but I'd just like you to say them for the people. Like, is it good for the PWHL to have a messy kind of weekend like this where everyone's heads are on fire and saying, oh my God, what is happening to my team? Oh my God, what is happening to my league?
Okay, wait, first, I want to go back to the point about the money for goalies. This is why the salary transparency is going to be very fun, because I remember years ago, I tried to figure out, like, if you're a team with someone that meets the mark for this position, right? Like, go through the cup checklist, whatever you want. And you kind of have that range of, like, year 1C should be X percentage of the cap. And we started to play around. Mike Murphy had the salaries for the PHF at the time, and I was able to look at it and say, like, what does this mean for women's hockey? Like, could this help? Saying a 1C should be this percentage of the cap that you can apply to their situations. I wonder how much work we're going to be able to start doing here in the PWHL now that those salaries are transparent to the public, to figure out what a true elite goaltender is worth, right? And I think it also is going to buy some teams time if you don't have defensive structure out of the gates, which you might not, because it's a brand new team and a new coach and a new everything. Like, your goalie can be your last resort to stop everything, and that works. But to your question here about the PWHL in this moment, I think this is great for them. This is different from saying, like, all press is good press, right? Like, no. It was a massive year for women's hockey. Any way you want to slice it, it was a massive year. The growth of hockey this year, from the heated rivalry effect, now the off-campus effect, the Olympics, everything that happened with Team USA after they won the gold medal. Everyone loves women's hockey. They already did, but now more people are finding out how incredible it is. We're seeing this massive growth. You want to keep the conversation going. Here's expansion. Now they're coming to your markets. Here's what it takes. Look at the superstars you're getting. If you're a Detroit fan, you might know who Kayla Barnes is or Hannah Bilka is from their Team USA days. Keep talking about them, right? Their names are circulating. Now those are your players. And on the flip side, if you're a Seattle player, fan or a new fan, you're going to be upset that they left. So how's your team? Now you're so curious. How do the Torrent move on without these players? How do they replace them? Now you're having those regular off-season conversations that we've been seeing for years and years and years. Too long, it felt like the only time everyone was talking about women's hockey was when something went wrong, right? People were jumping in on the conversation of being like, wow, that's Bush League. We saw it all the damn time. And it was so frustrating that people who do the work every single day in and day out, the good, the bad, and actually have the context of it, get overshadowed by big people jumping in just to punch down on this league. We're not having that anymore, right? We are having good conversations. They changed the expansion process to promote players getting to choose their futures a little bit more, which we love in this era, right? We're seeing it. The Dylan Larkin of it all. Is it good or bad for the Red Wings? It's terrible for them, but is it good for him to see players get empowered when the system sucks for them? Absolutely. Here it is in, women's hockey, and they make the change 1 year later. This is not like it took 10 years for them to move an inch. Like, they listen, they learn, and they're doing better. So I think this is huge for them. Keep that conversation going, keep the momentum growing, because we all want to see what happens next with this. And the phases stretched out leading into then the PWHL draft, where we have incredible players coming in. Like, everybody was talking about Caroline Harvey and Layla Edwards and Abby Murphy. Keep it going, because, here's going to be that next moment. And then we're going to have months to draw up fake lineups and try to figure out who's going to do what and project it out. Like, I feel like the conversation is just trending in the right place finally, and we are talking about the on ice of it all, and it's just such an important era for women's hockey, and I feel like this is just adding to that.
Yeah, next Wednesday is the draft.
That's
next
awesome.
Wednesday, 5 p.m. And we've been talking or thinking about that draft since the second the Olympics started. I'm sure people who follow PWHL more or follow women's hockey more than we had at that point knew, but watching the Olympics and being like, oh my God, all of these players are in the, not all these players, but like so many of these players on Team USA are in the draft. That's next Wednesday. That's going to rock. Yeah, bummer. It's a bummer if you're a fan of a team who lost players, of course, but this offseason is off to a very exciting start. Shayna, thank you so much. What's the Too Many Men schedule looking like?
I think we're recording on Wednesday. I think we'll go after game 2 at this point. But yeah, we were talking about some things we want to try out. I feel like we need to discuss. We have some ideas.
Awesome. And Sean, did I tell you there's murmurs of a What Chaos Too Many Men collab?
Too much chaos, one might say.
Too much chaos.
That sounds very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think,
we need to figure this out.
I don't want to do any other combination of them that's like chaotic women or something like that.
Shayna, are you Knicks down?
Yes, totally. Love basketball. Very here for it. No, I like the Knicks. If I have to choose a team, it's definitely the Knicks. I watch like the NBA playoffs, but like it's the one sport I don't give enough of a shit about. I feel like when the Liberty have been in it, I've been like, I have to watch all of this, and I have like 2 Liberty jerseys and all gear. I have 0 Knicks gear. So happy that this is happening. So fun. Love it for all my friends. Enjoying it. Not my sport. I think it's for the best. I think my head would explode if I take on anything more than like hockey and baseball and tennis and all the other shit.
I was going to say, you're a big tennis head, right? The French Open?
Oh, yeah.
Any French Open takeaways?
I'm really glad they canceled the men's tournament yesterday. That it didn't even come to a conclusion. It's amazing. Like they were so close to having Zverev. I can't even make the joke. It's in too poor of taste.
That's exactly.
You gotta. Everyone has to look up Zverev and look up his past and understand why he should not be playing in these tournaments where he's going to make millions of dollars that he's used to pay off the courts to end cases of domestic violence in the past. So to see him in it, to see him win it, very disappointing. Women's side, though, really fun tournament. Andreeva, really great player, teenager winning. That's fun.
Damn, so it sounds like we have a worse tennis representative than Novak Djokovic at this point.
Okay, I hate Novak Djokovic with all of my being, right? Like, I have made this, that is who I am, right? Like, I love Federer, I love Rafa. It was never Djokovic. I will root against him with all of my heart. If he is playing Zverev, I am a Djokovic girly. I'm here. I'm here for his batshit takes. I'm here for his poor attitude. I don't care. At least I can admit Djokovic is good. Zverev, like, you can see him getting better, but he's been like literally a choke artist for years. He's gone up 2 sets and lost. He's lost in these situations like 6 different times. This was hoping for the 7th, but here we are. But I will root for Djokovic with all of my heart anytime Zverev is playing him.
Chat says, go off, Shayna. Shayna has never once missed. And also a lot of suggestions for the collab to be called What Men. I don't hate that.
I don't hate that at all.
There you go.
What men? That's the question that we ask
What
at the
men?
beginning of every show. And then we discuss God knows what. Shayna, thank you so much. This is always amazing. We appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right, bye, pal. That's Shayna Goldman. You can read her on The Athletic and listen to her on Too Many Men. The recording for Wednesdays, I believe, is what she said. Sean, I feel like that was a fun segment for you.
Oh yeah! Wow. I mean, which part? I like all of it.
Oh yeah! What are you talking about, bud?
Well, I mean, first off, like you get into the P-Dub talk. I feel like not enough has been like I'm a Hamilton guy. Like that's the closest geographic team to me, and the fact that they're getting all of these awesome players. Oh yeah, I'm also a Hamilton the musical guy.
Legit Hamilton guy.
Yep.
I'm a legit. Look it up. That rocks for me. And then as far as the French Open talk, I didn't know all that about Zverev. I knew, but she spoke to my heart about Djokovic because I fucking hate that guy. I was a huge like Rafael Nadal guy growing up. But the main thing that I know about Novak Djokovic is his not taking COVID very seriously. And if you go to Zverev's controversies, just an all-time bad start for a controversies page. First one, COVID-19 pandemic. So you're already even with Novak
he's
Djokovic.
Already matching Djokovic's freak.
The following one is first allegation of domestic abuse, which
never good when you have to specify which case.
Exactly. It's never good when you have it at all. And then
I don't want to be a math podcast
like,
when it comes to discussing people's domestic violence.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, this guy, I haven't even got all the way through his controversies page. Not that I had any reason to doubt Shayna. If Shayna says that we shouldn't like somebody, it's on site with that guy at that point already. But yeah, controversy page not looking great.
My God. Yeah.
Also, it looks like the Kings are going to hire Laviolette. I believe it was Elliot said that they have broken it down to DJ Smith is out of the running. and it's between Laviolette and Jay
Woodcroft.
Jay Woodcroft, but and take this for what you will. Kevin Weeks tweeted a picture of Pete Laviolette with the eyes emoji and then hashtag HockeyX. So signs appear to be pointing towards Laviolette to the Kings, but has not officially been announced yet.
I don't hate Laviolette getting another crack at it. I do like Laviolette going to the Kings because selfishly, I did not want Laviolette to go to the Oilers, so that's fine. If I were the Kings, I think I would have been more interested in Woodcroft than Laviolette. But the Kings seem to be not. The Kings seem to be doing like the kind of safe thing.
Yeah, like the retread kind of.
Yeah, like the high floor, low ceiling kind of thing. And like I don't really. I know that by definition, Woodcroft is a retread, but I also consider Woodcroft a smart young coach.
I think that he's more of an unknown.
Yes.
Laviolette, you know what you're getting. And I think Laviolette's a good coach, and they've got the Panarin connection between Laviolette and Panarin now. So I don't know. I think either way, they're probably looking at an upgrade.
Can we discuss? Yes, Sean?
It was Pagnotta who reported it, by the way. And also, I just, because it happened to pop up while I was looking for it, missed this. Elliot reported yesterday that the Maple Leafs were interviewing Pavelski.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Joe Pavelski is on the list. Yeah, so Elliot had said that the Maple Leafs were prioritizing experience with coaches and did the old, like sometimes old reporters trick. Report what you know, and sometimes it doesn't feel great, but somebody will reach out to you and tell you you're wrong, but they'll give you information as to why you're wrong. So he said they're prioritizing experience. And I'm sure that was because based on what he'd heard, they were all experienced people. So he said it looks like they're prioritizing experience. Someone reached out to him.
I also think they said that in front of a microphone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did they?
The Maple Leafs, they were like, yeah, I think they were talking about who they were looking for. And I was like, that sounds pretty experience forward.
Okay. Someone reached out to him and said, well, if they're prioritizing experience, what about this guy? Because they're going to talk to Joe Pavelski, or they're talking to Joe Pavelski. And that's wild to me, but I also understand copycat league. You look at the success that Marty St. Louis is having, and maybe the not super experienced recent retiree can be a good coach. I know that Joe Pavelski, that like everybody loves Joe Pavelski, and he's been that he'll be a great coach someday thing. I'll do with it what I will do when the Cleveland Browns drafted, I forget, Jabril Peppers. Maybe he's a safety, but we don't know what position he's going to play, but we think he'll be a good football player. I said, Cleveland Browns, you're not allowed to take that swing. You're not allowed to be the team that says, we'll figure out what position that guy plays, because respectfully, Cleveland Browns, I don't think you know what you're doing.
You don't even know how to use players when you do know what their possession.
You haven't figured out what sport you play.
Yeah,
exactly. So I would give this leadership group with the Leafs the same sort of thinking. I understand that it might take a bit of a miracle to have the Leafs turn around their fortunes. I still think they have a pretty good roster, and I think that they're still going to be a playoff-ish team, or they can be as is. Yeah. I mean,
sure.
I would say it wouldn't take a miracle for them to get back to being, let's say, a wild card team.
I would think that it would take
I feel worse about it after they've done all the stuff they've done with their leadership. I'll say, like at the
they
end
are going to get
Gavin
McKenna,
right?
Like they are going to add what should be a good player. I don't know. I'm not exactly expecting Macklin Celebrini.
I'll say before bringing in Chaika and all that, they were in a position to maybe be able to turn this thing around quicker than people would think. And with better leadership, I'd be really intrigued by Joe Pavelski. I think, like, who the hell am I to say Joe Pavelski can't be a good head coach? Maybe he's not ready, but we've seen in other leagues hey, you know what? We'll take a risk on this guy a year or two too soon. But even in that case, like when Brad Stevens made the jump from college to the NBA, like 2 or 3 years earlier than people thought, he was an experienced college basketball coach who had gone to the Final Four. This would be Joe Pavelski retired like a year ago?
No, like
2 years ago?
3 years ago?
3 years ago?
Something like that.
Yeah. 2024 was his last year, right?
Yeah, because I feel like we talked
he had that
about
run
him
with
in
the
the playoffs
Stars.
a lot. Yeah.
So he's fresh out the league.
Yeah, and I'll say big year for Keith Pelly finding out about the Montreal Canadiens. Found out that they were a good team earlier this year, and then was like, let me look into that. Ooh, they got a former player, first-time head coach. We should try that.
I also saw somebody point out that he's from the same place as Cole Caulfield, the same town in Wisconsin. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, that reinforces your Canadiens point.
Extreme Edmonton Oilers behavior to be like, this person has something in common that does not matter with someone who is tangentially related to us. We've got to make him our goalie. Combine was last week, and we're going to have Jeff Merrick on tomorrow to talk all things Combine, all things everything. He's a brilliant man, and we love him. He was hanging out with the guys in Dishon, which just made our hearts absolutely sing. But if you do not know, at the NHL Draft Combine, like with any other combine, teams get a look at these players. They have them go through some physical tests.
Doing a show here.
Yeah, we need to get a Roomba.
I don't understand.
I mean,
those
we're
lights
moving.
defy all logic. But it seems like even if you're not, you did the first hour of the show and then it turned off, and then 30 minutes later, it decides to turn off. It doesn't make it like it defies logic.
We'll set a timer. We'll spin a wheel that will have a gesture that we do every 3 minutes. So it'll be like, Pete, do some shadow boxing.
No, we should just
DJ jumping jacks.
We should give Sean like a shock collar remote, and we wear one, and then he just hits us every 3 minutes. We don't.
No, that's what freaks are for.
I was going to
that's
say
what the freaks are for. They'll keep the lights on for you. Shout out Motel 6 or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, Freak can walk around. That'll keep the lights on, and then it'll rest, and we'll get up and knock it over, and that will also keep the lights on.
Kicking the shit out of it is what will keep the lights on.
That'd be the good shit. Well, at the Combine, this is where prospects show up to interview with teams, to work out, to take measurements, all these things, so teams can have as much information about the players they're considering drafting as possible. And in these Combines, teams ask players questions, and historically, the questions can get a little weird. We got a batch of questions that were asked of prospects last week. My favorite one, of course, from Shang Peng, where else, who says, "It just got dark at the Combine!" Caleb Malhotra says a team asked him in a Combine interview if he was on a desert island with no fresh water for a day, but the person next to him had a water bottle. Would he kill that person for their water bottle? You know, questions like this.
Yeah, it's definitely useful knowledge for an NHL team.
I'm going to date myself. Nickelodeon voice. What would you do? What would you do?
I'd ask if I could have a sip of water. Probably would go that route before threatening to kill the person next to me.
You'd be a good teammate. You'd be a good teammate.
I would always be terrible at these, and maybe it would ultimately be good, but I would just have so many follow-up questions. Also,
Wait a second.
For a day?
Yeah, okay. So I just picked up that part.
Yeah,
that's the thing. No one needs to die here. It's a day. It would suck.
Have a day with dry mouth. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I think
like your breath's gonna suck,
that's
but
got to be the
trick.
point of the question, right?
Yeah.
Like paying attention to detail and
if that's exactly how it's phrased, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if that is what
That
it is.
probably
to see if they
is.
understand.
I remember the first day of 6th grade, our teacher gave us a quiz, and like the very first thing was like read these instructions and then wait for further instruction or whatever, and then there's a bunch of questions after, and then so everybody naturally does the whole quiz, and then at the end they're like, you all failed because you didn't read directions.
How do you think I did? How do you think I did on those?
Probably,
really
I don't know.
Because you are a stickler for details.
That's where details can get me in trouble sometimes. But I was in 7th grade. I was the only one in my class that got that right. Only time I've been the only smart one. But yeah, I love that shit. The do this first, then do these things. Everyone else just does the second thing. If that were at the Combine, maybe Pete and I could have gotten drafted. But I'm also wondering if maybe the team was thrifty. This was like a frugal team that doesn't like to refill the water bottles so much. They're trying to use less water, and they're like, we're going to ask players questions to see, they don't really need water. Can you go a game without water? And if the player's like, yeah, I'm fine, it moves them up. Other questions asked.
Also, for the record, if anybody says they're going to kill that person, arrest them. Put them on that's like such... Unless the other person is a bad person, I don't think you get to decide that your life is more valuable. Like you're going to kill the other person for their water. I
think that's like the hockey guys love that shit. It's like, I'm going to kill that guy.
One more, I'm going to quickly squeak in an obsession reference. I saw a thing the other day that was like, there's a thing on Threads where everybody on Obsession is very excited that they've realized that Bear is a bad guy. And that a person said, my biggest problem with Bear is that not only did he make that wish, not only did he do this, this, and this, but when Nikki asked him to kill her, he didn't honor her wish. And I was like, I can excuse someone not murdering somebody when they're hoping that maybe there's going to be a way out of this where
especially
nobody
like
dies.
3 days into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Where like he's trying to figure out how this whole thing can be fixed. I'm going to excuse him on holding off on the old murder. But yeah, I would say where I would get myself into trouble here, and this goes back to the details thing, I would probably feel the need to begin any response to these questions with, well, obviously acknowledging that this is a ludicrous hypothetical, and then I would say whatever I was going to say. Because I know the teams are like, no.
I mean, I don't
what
know
are you
if
doing?
I don't
You
know
killing a guy? I'd be like,
I don't know
you've
if your
asked me a
strategy
ridiculous
of
question.
going into a job interview by telling the interviewer that they're being ludicrous.
I know your
is a
questions
good
are
idea.
dumb as fuck.
It isn't. That's what I'm saying would happen, though. Because I can't say, yes, I would kill a person without acknowledging we all know this is crazy. And this isn't happening here.
I feel like they're trying hard just to like rattle the kids. And I get that it's very easy for me to be like, I would do this when I'm not having the most important job interview of my life. And I'm also not like a 17-year-old kid. Like I'm a grown man reading these and after the fact. But like,
you laughing what I'm laughing at?
DJ doing a land acknowledgement before answering each question.
I thought you were going to say. I was like, I'd like to
land.
acknowledge that this is on stolen. That's where I thought you were going, which is true in Buffalo, New York. I forgot what I was saying. I would like, they would add like these are so straightforward to me. Like I would die.
I got some people on my side here saying like starting every answer with hypothetically so the cops can't be involved.
Yeah. I did like the one Jeff Merrick said that the Islanders asked prospects, here's a brick. What can you do with it? One brick.
My favorite response to that was they should ask what Andre Vasquez or what Ilya Sorokin's doing here, because I feel like the GMs would love that if someone was like, oh, what do you do with this brick, and you'd be like, well, I'd say nice to meet you, Mr. Sorokin. Those suits would love that shit.
One that I loved from Merrick: Nashville asked prospects to stack golf balls, which is possible but incredibly difficult, to see how long they would focus on a task before quitting. And the only reason I like that is because this is going to be inside baseball and inside sports media stuff, but there is a radio host in Tennessee called Jared Stillman, and that guy like is such a hater. But he's the type of hater, like Sean loves haters, but I think that Sean doesn't love sports radio haters as much. I think that that's like a genre where he's like, this person is putting their city through hell if this is all they can listen to. Jared Stillman is, I mean, like, Felger has Jared Stillman on because he cannot believe this person exists. This guy is such a hater about everything. So I saw this Jeff Merrick tweet via Jared Stillman quoting it by saying, and that's how you draft Brady Martin over Porter Martone.
Yeah, I didn't see
Jared Stillman, the Diana Rossini investigative journalist?
Yeah, so when the Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel thing came out, Jared Stillman was like, I have hated Mike Vrabel since he arrived in Tennessee. Let's get to work.
He's like, I've got receipts that I've been throwing out there for 10 years at this point.
He was doing some like, I called it, and I'm like, you shouldn't be calling I bet they're banging. Like, that's not the flex that you think it is, man.
Also a good one, Mark D'Amico said Chase Reed told him the Habs asked prospects at the NHL Combine to try to throw a puck into a garbage can, and you could throw from anywhere in the room, and if you miss, the Canadians would not draft you. He said Reed and Caleb Malhotra went to the end of the room, basically as far away from the trash can as possible, and missed. Which
Pride
is
will be
like
the
the
death of us
funniest
all.
way of saying, don't fucking draft me.
Well, I guess to me that's just hubris, because you know what I'm doing is I am standing directly over that garbage can and dropping the puck in it.
Oh, yeah.
And if they ask, why aren't you being riskier? I say, there's nothing more in this world that I want than to play in the National Hockey League. What the fuck? What are we talking about here?
And
you're gonna
also-
criticize me for wanting to follow my dream? I don't want to play for your franchise then.
And also, it displays decision making where,
yeah,
like, what is the play you're making here? The goal is to get this into the trash can.
Right.
I think there's virtue in displaying to a team that you are going to make the smart play.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yes. Especially if you're a defenseman. Do you want a guy who's going to make risky plays dance along the blue line, or you want a guy that's going to keep the puck in the zone?
I do think also, I could be misremembering this. I think somebody else told this story, but they were doing it like more on background, so they didn't say which player and which team. And I think it was a little more colorful and had some, like, when the player missed, they were like, you'll never fucking play for our team. Like, they were trying to really make it feel intense.
Dude, I would have laughed.
Yeah.
If you like, especially if you like are like, get to the end of the room. If you're not choosing where it is, but if they're like, get as far as you can and try and make it in here, and you don't make it, and they're like, you're not playing, it'd be like, okay, fucking Woody Johnson. You make a decision based on games.
If they said you'll never play for our fucking team, I would say back, you are going to regret that for over 1,000 games and walk out. And I bet that would be a thing that would kind of put me back on their board. Where they were
big, like, your loss. Bye.
Yeah. The whole, like, what did Tom Brady say when he met Robert Kraft or something?
He said, like, what's your...
he did some sort of, like,
yeah, well,
hey,
that
like, I
wasn't
know
the
I'm a
next
6th round
one.
pick, but no. Like, when he met Robert Kraft, he said something to him that was like I'm going to win you Super Bowls or something like that.
Yeah.
That with a young player, you should be like, hey, okay, cool. Why don't you ease up? We've got like an all-pro quarterback here, but stuff like that, I think, can get people back on the board. I'm sure that I haven't been looking at the chat, but I'm sure that people find this all ridiculous because it is. But I do think that you want to find out how these players tick. I'm just saying they've got to do something crazy in these hypotheticals for me to really change what I think about my selecting them.
Like, if Gavin McKenna got like the water bottle question, he was like, I've already murdered. I will murder again. They'd be like, okay, all right.
Oh, someone said hit them with the pretty woman. Big mistake. Huge or whatever it is. I didn't see that. I did see a reference in The Office.
Yes, I was going to say.
Yeah. It's amazing, though, the combine. You might go to the draft. Are you thinking of going to the draft, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, it's in my backyard, basically, so.
I'm thinking of going to the bathroom.
Why not?
You're thinking of going to the bathroom? Damn. We are also going to... Do we have anything else? Oh, let's talk about the guy who keeps getting Hurricanes tattoos. So he started by saying if they came back in game 2, he was going to get a Hurricanes tattoo. Is that right, Sean? Do you have these?
I don't know the whole story. I didn't know there was more to it prior to game 3 here.
So I believe this was the second time a guy got a Hurricanes tattoo in the same series. Said if the Hurricanes score 4 goals in the 3rd period to tie the game, I'll get a Stormy tattoo. Please, for the love of God. They did it, and he got a Stormy tattoo. Now what's cool is he got the Strutton Stormy. I think
it does appear that this is clearly the second Canes tattoo he got.
Same arm, right. So I believe he got the warning flag tattoo if they came back in game 2. That's quick work, getting that tattoo. And then he now has 2 tattoos, which the only thing that makes me feel weird about it is the Hurricanes are 1-1 in those games.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a little... I'm sure one of those tattoos is slightly easier pill to swallow than the other.
That is, I mean, he's clarified. He said specifically if they score 4 goals in a row, but Jack Michaels and I might have had a real fight about that one if he said, if the Hurricanes come back in this game, I'll get the tattoo. Was it Jack Michaels who was like,
yeah, we had a big semantics discussion. Yeah.
That was one of our favorite. That was your idea too.
It was my idea.
That's like a rare stickler details bullshit. People are going to get annoyed at us. That was all Pete. we went through NHL people and asked them, when is the comeback complete? Yeah. Is it when they've tied the game or when they've surpassed the other team's total?
So for the Hurricanes guy, he's a Hurricanes fan, right?
Yeah.
He's
a Hurricanes fan who's just getting a lot of Hurricanes tattoos.
And like manifesting these tattoos. So I did see his third one was like, if the Canes win the cup, that he'll get a third one. So shout out to this guy. I mean, he could have like kind of chickened out or done some really small placement. He's doing big, prominent tattoos. And like both those tattoos are pretty good and well done.
Yeah. I mean, Sean, do you have the thing on the warning logo flag?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just seeing stonks really seeming to go up on some of the Hurricanes branding and like, go off, Kings. Someone says, I don't care. I like the alt logo for Carolina Hurricanes because it makes a lot of sense. The space between the two flags is an outline of North Carolina, which I think is pretty cool. Now, we are famously not a logo or jersey explainer podcast, but that's a little fun wrinkle. I just think it's cool that it's a hurricane warning flag with the hockey stick. It's a creative logo.
I've never had a problem with the Hurricanes logos.
I do. I have a problem with that logo. Like I think it's fine, but the italics of it, the off-centeredness leaves a lot of negative space.
So that's what I was gonna say. Is I've never had a problem with their logos. I've had problems with the utilization of their logos. That's a great secondary, a good shoulder patch or something like that. I don't think it looks good as the main crest of your main home jersey. And like I think like the Hurricane, the actual Hurricane is awesome. I hate the way that it's played on the white jersey with just the red and black, but I think, and the fact that their branding is all over the place and they keep switching what jerseys they use at what times. But the logos in and of themselves, I think, are awesome. And I love a good use of negative space. And I think I pointed out at the beginning of the series, someone else had pointed out that it's a big negative space series. Like Vegas has the V in the helmet that's a negative space, and I like a logo design. So I'm
Someone in the
absolutely
chat
on board
said,
with that warning flag.
Oh my God, is that not a B? I thought it was a B. They just thought there was a B. The Hurricanes.
For the Carolina Hurricanes.
For Brandon Bussey.
I mean, famously,
it was Paradisiacal Dreams. I mean, it looks like a B.
It does look like a B, and famously, the Hurricanes have a logo that's both a W and an H. So they have just kind of, the precedent is there for them to just embrace letters that have nothing to do with their team.
I do like that it is a waving flag, though. Shout out Kanon.
I think that's a cool logo.
Yes.
Also, was that used in the World Cup, I think?
Yes.
You know what song, Sean, what do you know about that song? When I get stronger, when I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag, and then it goes back.
That's a great song.
That's a great song. Banger. Look at all these Oops All Cups, by the way. Nice little, we got dunks, we got the cup, we got depth.
I've got a Stanley Cup.
Oh, you got your Sabre
The
Stanley
saddest
Cup?
development over the last like 5 to 6 years is the Stanley Cup. This being what you get when you Google Stanley Cup. Not the Stanley Cup.
Somebody in the chat brought this up. I did see the Instagram reel like a couple weeks ago that was somebody being like, if Mitch Marner wins the Conn Smythe, I will do whatever the top comment says. And the top comment that had the most likes was
delete
like,
your account?
No, let me get you pregnant.
Yes, I've seen that one.
I was like,
I saw
Jesus
that.
Christ.
I saw that, which
God.
I don't. Yeah, I mean,
I think you can absolutely not. Please do
I
not
think you get to ignore
honor
that
that
one.
I'm very much usually a stand on business, say it with your chest kind of person. Do not bring a child into this world based off of a popular Instagram reel.
I'm sorry, I'm distracted by NBA odds right now as we get ready for Sports Interaction for a little bit. But before we do that, we need to talk about 84-0. If you don't know what 84-0 is, it is an offshoot of 82-0. And if you don't know what 82-0 is, it is a strategy game in which you build an NBA lineup that you hope can play a perfect season. I've not done it with basketball. I went from not knowing about it in hockey to it taking over my life and hoping that I play it so much that like I'll never get Alzheimer's. I'm deciding that this is like a Sudoku or something because I play it all the time. We talked about it on the Patreon episode, and I caught neither of you paying attention during the Patreon episode because you were both playing 84-0 while we were discussing it, to which I say, good form. It's a good thing that I wasn't also doing it. It's a good thing someone wasn't on it, but this thing will take over your life. Sean, I know that you've already gotten so into it that you've kind of beaten it a la a Rubik's Cube. You know what to do. You've got some of the ins and outs.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody that plays it should. Like, you figure out who the best players are with the most value. Obviously, like, I think it's 90s Gretzky or 80s Gretzky had like 214 points or whatever. So that's about the most valuable center you're going to get. Like 2000s Ovi is about the best. You just figure out who the best players are, and you try and get those players when you can.
So the way the game is played is you are filling out a 6-player lineup, and they give you parameters for each a team and an era. So they'll say, for example, the 2010s Boston Bruins. You pick a player from that team and say you pick Patrice Bergeron, that's your center. Then it'll say, okay, now the 1980s Penguins, and you pick a player from there, and it fills out your lineup. It then simulates an 84-game season to see how well that team would do, and you are trying to get a perfect season. Now, some people, I know Young Grady's been doing this, I know a lot of people have been doing this, have been doing the opposite. They've been trying to tank and try to get the worst record they could possibly get. I haven't done that. I've tried to go for 84-0. Not to brag, I have gotten 84-0, although it was on the normal setting. There's a hard setting, and I've been playing on hard since. I've gotten 83-1, have not gotten 84-0 on hard. Damn. Sean, I'm assuming you have?
I have not had 84-0. I have had a handful of 83-1s.
How about you? Have you gotten 84-0 in regular?
No, but I haven't really been playing regular. Like, I've kind of been, I played a little bit at first, and then I've been doing hard ever since.
Sean said, I don't want it if it's regular.
Yeah. How about you, Pete? Well, what's your experience been?
I have only played the regular one, and I have not gotten 84-0. I think the closest I've gotten is either 83-1 or 82-2.
Okay, those are really good. I sent it to my dad, and my dad, like, right off rip got, I think, like 79-5 or whatever. Like, because it's a cool thing to give with different generations, because my dad is more likely to, like, 70s and 80s know what the pulls are. And then, like, if he sees Mario Lemieux or Wayne Gretzky or something, or Sidney Crosby or McDavid, obvious, but he's not going to be as in on the updated ones. But yeah, you're basically waiting for like an Ovechkin or a Mike Bossy or a Wayne Gretzky or a Bobby. Like, when 1970s Bruins pops up for me, I get so excited and smash that Bobby Orr button. Let's play it for a little bit. Do we want to? How many do we want to do? Do we want to do like a team one? Do we want to have people go individually? Well, what's your call, Pete?
Let's. Why not just do one of us does a round, and whoever comes up with the best record calls themselves the city of champion for a day.
Okay. Do we do regular or hard?
Hard.
Okay, let's do hard. Who's going first?
So you go first. You're the reigning champ.
That is true. All right. 84-0 me, daddy. Drop the puck. We've got the 2020s Colorado Avalanche. Now, you would think Nathan MacKinnon would be a great option here, but I want to leave room for 80s Gretzky. I want to leave room for 90s Mario Lemieux, possibly. So give me Cale Makar on defense.
Smart.
Ottawa Senators 2010s. Oh, shit.
Oof.
See, now here's where I'm fucked. Do I take Erik Karlsson on defense and punt on Bobby Orr being there?
Well, I mean, Erik Karlsson in the 2010s absolutely disgusting. My only issue there, and I don't know how much this version of 84-0 takes into account like defensive rating, because if you have Cale Makar and Erik Karlsson, you're probably not going to have the strongest defensive rating.
Sean, don't tell me what to do, but do you know what the right move is here?
No, I not necessarily. I have thoughts on what I would do here based on my knowledge of the game, but
okay. I mean, I could redraw. If I'm going to redraw either of them, I would redraw the team, because Ottawa Senators, like, best player that I can think of, Ottawa Senators wise, respectfully, would be Zdeno Chara. And I know this team doesn't really value, this game doesn't really value Zdeno Chara like that. So fuck it. Give me Erik Karlsson. Edmonton Oilers 2020s. Okay, I've got to do. I mean, I would love to have Gretzky here, but wait. You know what? Fuck it. Let's redraw the era.
Yeah, that's probably smart. Oh,
fuck.
It was not smart.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah,
well, not worst case. It
not
could have been
smart.
2000s, but
Well, it just made me downgrade Connor McDavid.
and
give
Leon.
me shit. Do I do Taylor Hall? No, I'd give me.
You
Connor
got
McDavid.
goalie open. You could take Cam Talbot.
I mean, I could also, shit. Montreal Canadiens 1950. So this shit does nothing for me. I never know what to do with these. I could do Jacques Plante. Fuck, but
You're in a tough spot now. Yeah.
do I redraw the? I'm just going to pray that I mean, I can't redraw the era. So I'm getting someone from the 1950s no matter what. Give me Jacques Plante. Oh, this sucks. Maple Leafs from the 60s.
You're getting screwed here.
Yeah, this is tough. I would certainly redraw.
I'm going to redraw the team. Blackhawks from the 60s, I could do.
You could take Bobby Hull, but then you'd be
but then I don't do. They're all left away. No, Kenny Wareham I could do, but then I'm losing Ovechkin. My team is going to fucking suck.
Ovechkin's no. Ovechkin's a left wing. If you take Kenny Wareham, you still have Ovechkin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, right. But Kenny Wareham is.
If you take Kenny Wareham, you lose Bossy, who I think is more valuable.
Yeah. Oh, right. True. Give me Bobby Hull.
Oh, man.
Cancel me, daddy.
Hey.
There you go.
Jaromir Jagr.
Penguins 1990s. Got to take Jagr. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jagr is one of the great ones.
Simulate
All right.
me.
You got predictions on your season?
I mean, I don't know if I'm getting 80 wins out of this. I'm
Probably
getting
not.
probably 76.
Ooh,
Oh, okay. 79 and
5.
5. Not bad. Pete, your turn, buddy.
All right, let's do it. All right, we got Islanders 2020s. Give me Sorokin right off the bat.
I like that.
Canadians in the 60s.
Oh, see, this is tough because if I didn't have a goalie, I would redraw the era and try to get Carey Price, but you're good in that.
Fuck.
So many of the good players, Maurice Richard, Henry Richard, a lot of them are centers.
I know. Do you have any thoughts here? Because I'm torn.
Like, I'm not doing. There's legends here, Jean Beliveau, but you're not.
I definitely don't want to take a center.
Yeah,
That's the
the center is off limits.
Jacques Lapierre. No. Fuck.
I would.
This is so funny to me.
Honestly, this is going to sound crazy. I would redraw both the team and the era.
Yep. That's exactly what I would do in this situation.
First, I would redraw.
First, I would redraw era first.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
because I'm not going to know shit from the 60s anyway. Oh, I got the 50s.
Oh, get fucked. Get fucked. That was awful. That's worst case scenario.
I mean, give me Maurice Richard. I guess.
think that's the move.
We still have your team at least.
Yeah.
All
right.
Fontaine.
I'm going
You
to
have to redraw the team.
Yeah, I'm going to redraw the team here and the Islanders in the 90s. Penguins in the 90s.
Oh, you got Mario Lemieux.
Give me Mario.
That's huge.
Ooh, I don't know if that's what I would have done. I would have taken coffee.
Would you have taken the...
Who would you have taken?
Coffee.
Oh, interesting.
Gotta get
All
those
right,
good
so now I've
defensemen
got
when you can.
Rangers in the 2010s, which leaves me with Mark Stahl, Dan Girardi, Carl Hagelin, Ryan McDonough, and Rick Nash. I'm tempted to go Ryan McDonough.
I think that's sneaky the move because left wing is one you want vacant for Ovechkin.
Right. Toronto Maple Leafs in the 90s. Give me Wendell Clark. This is going to be tough. Penguins in the 2010s.
Chris Letang.
Give me Chris Letang.
Mata. Oh, boo.
I mean, my team is going to stink, but let's simulate it. Let's see. 74-8-2. All right, so I'm technically in last place right now. Sean, save me.
Show us how it's done, brother.
Jesus. All right, I'm redrawing the team off.
You got to take Josh Norris.
No.
Avalanche 2020s.
What a move.
Cale Makar. Quebec Nordiques 1980s.
Paul Stastny.
Taking away center for Paul Stastny. I love that. That's tough.
This is a tough one, but
yeah,
banger.
I mean, you took Connor McDavid off your board for Paul Stastny.
Yeah, I
That's
did.
Kinda...
Paul Stastny is amazing, though.
And you have to take one of these. I think you might have to go Cam Talbot.
I think I'm going to. Yeah. I don't like this anymore. All right. Don't
Chris
be mad at me.
I mean, we got to do a little audio description for the people listening.
Sorry, it was the St. Louis Blues. I took Kachuk. People are going to be mad about that, but this has gone terribly for me.
No brainer here.
I mean,
Nicholas Lidstrom.
90s Red Wings. Yeah, I have no choice to take Lindstrom, and then give me something good. God damn
Winnipeg
it.
Jets 2010. Patrick Laine had that one good year. It's either Patrick Laine or Blake Wheeler. It depends on how much you want your team to be offside.
I'm going to take Patrick Laine. I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm taking Patrick Laine. I felt good off start with the Cale Makar, and then it got bad real quick. Wow.
60,
holy shit.
21-3. Jeez.
What happened there?
I mean,
Cam Talbot, really? I think
Cam Talbot plus Peter Stastny was really kind
Peter
of
Stastny is my second best player. Peter Stastny had 139 points. I know this game. Peter Stastny was the best player I had, I think, other than Makar.
Good job, Sean. Not great job.
No, it was a bad job. It was. I mean, I didn't have much choice after locking into Peter Stastny, but that was a good choice. It just the way it went afterwards did not turn out very well.
Fuck! This is the most addicting game.
Champion for the day. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's not perfect, but that's what we strive for. We strive for perfection. We should have done this with Shayna. Shayna would have fucking freaked it.
The problem is that it's not necessarily a matter of puck knowledge. It's just you kind of got to get lucky.
I feel like Shayna would have figured out the game. I feel like there would have been some Rubik's Cube savant shit happening there.
We should make every person that comes on our show as a guest play 84-0 and have a leaderboard of guest rankings. That's a pretty good idea.
I love that idea. Merrick tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Jesus.
Should we call Shayna back up, cold call her, and tell her to pick her 84-0 team?
Yeah. Wait. Let me see if she can do it. Let's see.
In the meantime, shall we do some super chats? I
can
read those
good
off
idea.
Real quick. Super chat from Luxury Trash. Getting the good karma super chat out of the way at the top. My Mayor Muslim, my Bagel Jewish, my Christian Dior, Nick's in 4. Peace, love, Brunson. That is a phenomenal super chat.
I love that. I love that video so much. That's the most New York line of all time.
DJ watched a video prior to the show. It was Fat Joe and Fat Joe's podcast, I believe, basically saying the vibes and the unity behind New York around this Knicks team have never been higher in our lifetime. And then you could see it clock and be like, since 9/11. Since 9/11, vibes and unifying factor has never been stronger in New York. And we decided that Fat Joe is the opposite of DJ in that
he'd never think about 9/11.
He has to remind himself to think about 9/11. Yes.
He needs to be reminded daily to think about it.
Yes. Young Gritty says, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Machu Frey says...
Oh, that's a reference to That's a reference to my birthday dinner. There was a real fiasco. There were a couple of fiascos at my birthday dinner. The PG one was that the restaurant kept congratulating me.
Yes.
They had some bad information on me and kept congratulating me.
We'll paywall the rest of that. Subscribe to the Patreon. Yes. We had a good Patreon episode over the weekend.
NC-17 version as well.
Patreon.com/whatchaos. We've got some good stuff up there. Machu Frey says, a child's first birthday party is a celebration for the parents. You made it a year with little sleep and kept them alive. I think that is, even if that's true, it is absolutely worth celebrating. Anna Reeves writes, formerly known as Stacey Faye writes, happy belated birthday, DJ.
Thank you so much, friend.
Gabi
Appreciate
Nicole,
you always.
Here, Vas, some trauma to go with your award. That's right. Frank Salazar, don't ever compare hockey to basketball, ever. All right, Hardo.
Or
update. Update. Shayna will tap in to play 84-0 in 2 minutes.
Perfect. Stephanie Mills, nice shirt, Sean. There you go.
Shout out Peter Laviolette. Go Kings, go.
Eli says, guys, it's obviously Kochetkov time. That would be the best. I mean, if any series is a series with a knife, it is absolutely this series. Renee Maldonado, all this trade talk is really coming up Kings. We haven't really talked about the Kings too much as a Dylan Larkin landing spot, but Dylan Larkin said, I haven't really thought about the Kings too much as a Dylan Larkin landing spot. Renee also says, wow, Kings are at the center of it all. Mimi says, wonder who's going to be the first superstar to see in Carolina, a team that wins multiple playoff rounds every year and has a stacked roster, boundless cap space / assets, Rod, smartest front office in NHL, etc., and go send me there. We're all waiting for the first one. I guess Nikolai Ehlers kind of did that. J. Walter High Pants, a little something to keep the lights on. Hasn't worked. We're going to need some more super chats.
Shout out Billy Joel's single that he put out last year called Turn the Lights Back On.
Anna Reeves says, change my username to my pen name. From Stacy. There you go. Paradisical Dreams. Here is a super chat. What can you do with it? Very nice.
Combine question?
Yep. Bricked up. Generic Red Circle says, perform well at the combine and we won't convince you your award is a bomb one day. # promise. Chef Goldblum says, Pete, please drop the link for that ATL shirt. I need it. I don't have a link, but it's from Dishin.
Of course.
So
it's so good.
There you go. The Dishin boys fucking cooked with this one. I love how much noise my chair makes.
I was going to say.
The Unknown 3399, as a famous ballet, opera, and other fine arts defenders, thoughts on the Tonys last night? More or less bullshit of an award than the Emmys, DJ?
Like the Emmy, it is an amazing achievement, and I'm very happy for anyone who won anything over the weekend, including Emmys. Emmys were won over the weekend, so congratulations to everyone who achieved anything as impressive in their field.
Shout out to dear friend of the podcast, Kathleen Kiley, won an Emmy. Love that. Comedic.
They asked thoughts on the Tonys, and you're like, just in case, Emmys are legit.
I don't know anything about the Tonys, so I'm going to...
I literally had no idea that it happened last night. To be
excuse myself from that conversation.
I'm a little bit of a musical guy.
Comedic Allighieri says, hi guys, it's Disco Darling Mystery Jacob. I'm sorry, chat, for not being Jacob Tierney. I am unfortunately a much less cool, but still gay Canadian Jacob.
Okay, because you do have to, we do not accept super chats from anyone who is not a gay Canadian Jacob.
There you go. I hope you can forgive me. Jacob. Hope you're enjoying the record, Pete. I am. Thank you, Mystery, but still cool Jacob. Very much appreciate you. Yeah. Thank you so much for the super chat and also for the beloved Disco Darling vinyl. Fatima says, DJ Discord wanted to ask if you knew that 9/11 caused 50 Shades of Grey. I'd like an explanation.
But I will happily take an explanation. That would be fantastic. I know that 50 Shades of Grey famously is Twilight fan fiction, was inspired by Twilight fan fiction.
And Twilight was caused by 9/11.
Did Bin Laden do 9/11?
Yeah, I think he did. But I'm not totally
sure.
Big
if true.
Hell of a laptop that guy had.
Sure
that
did.
fan must have been humming. So,
What was the Pixar movie that he loved? Maybe it wasn't Pixar. He
No, but I
loved
know what you're
some
talking
cartoon
about,
movie.
but I
porn
can't.
in, I think, Toy Story or something like that. Actually, I don't know if he was Toy Story down.
I don't think so. I think it was some other animated movie.
Do not other Bin Laden's hard drive. Actually, I feel like we can other Bin Laden's hard drive. We're going to figure out the logistics and the behavior and ethics there. Do we have Shayna back, Sean?
Yes, we do.
Shayna, sorry we did this. Thank you so much for tapping back in. Do you know what 84-0 is?
Oh,
it says she has herself muted.
Oh, whoops.
We're good.
Oh, no, we're good.
Silencing yourself.
So my wire, like I got a new wire, and I think it's the mic. Maybe I pulled the wire out like too fast, and like the function. I don't. Anyway, have I played it? Yes.
Hell yeah. How much have you played it?
Not a ton. I got bullied into it last week. Marty Braun was like, "You have to play, and we were on Sabres. So I did it like twice, and then I was not going to touch it. And then Dom texted me Friday like, "I made one, and it's my model, so it's better. You must do it." And yeah, now I'm hooked. And then each time I've done it, like yesterday, I just kept respinning it, and now like my boyfriend's sitting next to me, and I see him doing it. Like we're sitting next to each other, screenshotting each other. I got 82-0 once, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm totally done, and I have not touched it since.
This opens a door too, and we try to push back on how you say parasocial relationships and everything. Pete and I think that you and your boyfriend and all your friends seem like the absolute coolest gang of people. And we wish that we like had a house on your block and could hang out with all of you at least twice a week.
You and your friends throw an incredible party. Every time you post,
seems like you have a lot of parties.
Themed party pictures. I'm like, I am spending time on that post, just dissecting it all. You guys really commit to the bit with your themed parties, and I love that so much.
They're like my Met Galas, these parties, because it started with wrestling parties that we did. Like it was my birthday party because I'm not a birthday person. Like so every year we did a wrestling party. I wanted Harry's house. My friends turned me down, so they were like, "What if it was wrestling?" And I was like, "All right, that'll be fun to make." And literally, I'll make like 6 or 7 outfits for it for like all different people and dress everyone. And then this year, since it's my best friend's birthday too, she picked 2006. So that was the theme. But no, we host a lot of parties. Like we're the house that I don't invite people to come. They just show up. Like every Wednesday, we watch wrestling here. I do not send out a single text saying, "Hey, come." Everyone just shows up. They have keys to the house. They walk in. They're just here. If like there have been times like we weren't home, we come home and like the house is all set up to watch stuff.
I want to die because I want that. I had the discussion. I've had it all the time. I've had it with Pete or whatever. Like the whole thing of the television show Friends or How I Met Your Mother or whatever, or Seinfeld, the whole like open door policy or the we all meet at the bar whenever, just like this group, some part of this group is always happening at all times. And yeah, you go to work for 5 minutes a day, but you come back and you drink at the bar with all these people. It doesn't exist. It's a worse fairy tale than anything about love you could have been told by Disney. But then I fucking look at your Instagram and I'm like, you can have it all. And Shayna has it all. God damn.
Listen, I couldn't get rid of them even if I tried, all right? Like there are days I'm working or I'm like, you guys have to be, our garage is in our backyard. It's really weird. So it's like you can hang out in the garage and in the yard, like even in the winter. So there are times I'm like, you guys need to, like they'll show up at 5 and I have something at 6. I'm like, go out there, like go away. And shut up for 10 minutes. And they'll do it. Like they know the drill. There's some days like I don't come downstairs till 2 minutes before wrestling starts. And they know like don't even speak to me. Like because they can just see I'm like I'm so done from the whole day that like they just know and they say hi and then like you'll see like 30 minutes pass where they start talking to me.
So I don't care about wrestling. My girlfriend big time cares about dogs, as does Pete and his lovely wife. I know that like I'm saying we can find a way to muster, to like manufacture a reason we're supposed to be there at some time. And we'll say that we're going to Long Island to do a piece on something, even though we don't do pieces on anything. And we'll just like slip in and be there playing with the dogs one day when you get back.
Yes.
I think that we should Can we like get an invite first before we
I
invite
was just
ourselves
gonna
over?
say, I was gonna
But she
say,
said
like,
part
if
of it
you
is
guys
that,
make
like,
a
there aren't
reason,
invites,
We will
they're
throw
just-
a party.
to her friends. They
Yeah.
have we don't have keys. That's the thing.
Right, we don't have keys.
We have not gotten an invite or a key. So I think technically we would be intruding.
Okay,
Unless,
I'm extending an open invite to you three. But honestly, if you three made the trip to Long Island, that is a perfect reason to throw potentially themed, but definitely a party.
I'm going to be
yes.
on Long Island this time next month.
Hell
My
yeah.
best friend's getting married on Long Island.
See, we gotta figure out. It's a big
Shayna
place.
and her
We gotta
friends
figure out
come?
if we're in the same range.
Yeah,
That would
Long
be-
Island is quite long.
Yes.
Famously, it's the island so long they named it Long Island, as they say about it. All right, we each took a spin on 84-0. We didn't have the best results for the our first time doing it as a show, but we were like, Shayna would probably like Rubik's Cube this. Did you? What was Dom's involvement? You said, did he make this one?
no, he has a different one.
The one with like his model, so it has their offensive and defensive ratings. It has goal saved above expected and goal saved above average, and then also it has full lineups, I think. So if you want to try to build the worst possible team, you can.
Yeah, his is 82 dash NHL dash 82 dash O, I believe. I played that one yesterday. That one seems like the more like
refined.
Yeah, like analytical, and you can do versus mode, so you can pick your team and then send it to like a person and be like, beat this.
So like I'm gonna play that with my dad all day. But in fairness of sticking with what we've done thus far, we will have you do it on the other, some would say maybe even problematic one. Okay? So
Okay.
we're respecting the office of 84-0.
DJ just picked Bobby Hull. That's why he's calling it the problematic one. They just give you Bobby Hull on your team. They don't give you a choice.
They just put them on there.
Okay, wait. It looks a little blurry on my screen, so you're gonna have to like read me who, and I'll pick
Shout
them.
out Puddle of Mud. Okay. We will read you who is there.
Okay.
We're dropping the puck. You have the 1990s
let's go.
Buffalo Sabres. Can you see the names there? Because Dominik Hasek obviously is an option. Alexei Zhitnik, Alexander McGillney, Dale Howarchuk, Pat LaFontaine, and Donald Audette.
Let's just go Hasek off the
That's
bat.
the
We're not gonna
move.
beat that.
Chicago
I'm
Blackhawks
nervous.
from the 2010s.
Well, this is a good start.
Okay. I can't see the names, so I'm just gonna say Kane off the bat. Like,
Okay.
Yeah,
probably
it's
be the highest
probably the
rated.
right. I'm pretty sure it is in this one.
2010 Preds.
Okay, these you got to read to me.
Shea Weber,
yeah.
Ryan Ellis, Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg, and Ryan Johansson.
Just in case you want to make sure the vibes of your team are rancid, you could go with Ryan Johansson.
You know, I'm like dying to pick him, but I'm gonna go Shea Weber.
I would too. 1990s Kings. You have center open for Wayne Gretzky if you want him.
Yeah.
There's also
That's like go Gretzky.
Who would you say, Sean?
I'm pretty sure Luke Robitaille is the best pick here. Left wing Luke Robitaille. There's also defenseman Rob Blake and Tony Granato. But yeah, 90s Luke Robitaille is very good in this game. But Wayne Gretzky is over.
Yeah, let's go Wayne Gretzky.
1960s Blackhawks
Where's
with
your Bobby
still
Hull
have
that they
your-
forces you to take?
You still have your
Wait, do you get
redraw
your
for your team
respins?
and
Yes.
Yep, you have team and era still.
Let's go respin. Ugh, I'm so scared I'm gonna get the Kraken if I say this, and they're gonna be my next one. So we're gonna respin the team. We already have a Blackhawk.
Leafs. You can get Tim Horton. You can get Bob Pulford.
People in the group chat, by the way, some people didn't appear to know that Tim Horton is a real person and was a successful NHL player.
The coffee
Respin
mogul.
the year. Let's respin one more then.
Yeah.
Redraw the era.
Yeah.
So you got
90s
Maple Leafs in the 90s.
Okay, hit me. Who do we have?
Wendell Clark, Dave Anderchuk, Jamie McCoon, Sergei Berezin, and Dmitry Yushkevich.
Who was the first pick?
Wendell Clark.
Let's go Wendell Clark.
I think that's probably.
Yeah.
where I
And
would go.
2000s
Ooh.
Penguins. You could put
Ooh.
famous podcaster Ryan Whitney on your blue line, or Favorite of yours truly, Sergei Gonchar or Brooks Orpik?
See, this is my mistake for filling that winger slot because I would have like had a much better pick. But let's go Gonchar.
Yeah, Gonchar ruled. All right,
I'm gonna say I'm like 70. I'm gonna say 73.
It'd be better than me still.
79 and 5.
Was that is that tied with mine, or was I?
You were 80. I think you were like 81 and 3, weren't you?
No.
No, I don't even think I got 80.
Okay. All right. Well, that's got to be pretty close.
The tape.
We'll review the tape, but Shayna, thank you for tapping back in. Next time we do it, and we'll do it on Dom's model because we are a Dom model respecting podcast here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Say hi to the dogs. Happy early wrestling thing 2 days early. Enjoy the wrestling on Wednesday if we don't talk before then.
Let me know if you need our address for the keys.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna send them right over. I'm gonna send them right now. Just mail them. I'll send the dogs. They'll be my like carrier pigeons.
Amazing. Bye again, Shayna.
Bye.
Once again, that is Shayna Goldman from The Athletic and Too Many Men. I think, Sean, the 84-0 experiment has been a success.
Yes, you were 79 and 5, by the way. So it was, I believe, tied.
So I tied with Shayna.
Pretty good.
Good company to keep.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure the one that I got is by far the worst I've ever done at that game. Which
happens to lots of guys.
Throwing a puck into a garbage can from across the room, folding under pressure.
I was going to say shout out Carly Rae Jepsen, but
wait, why?
First pitch.
Oh yes, yeah. Not great.
What is she? Does she have a?
She has a famous,
bad first pitch?
Horrible first pitch. For the
if you're telling me
Rays.
bad first pitch, I instantly think 50 Cent.
And I know what you're
thinking. She did it before it was cool.
Yes.
And before it was like, I'll go viral, and this will be great.
Okay, well, I don't think 50 Cent was doing it to go viral.
I don't know.
But I would throw 50 Cent into like the authentically pure.
Oh, okay, yeah.
First pitch is terrible. Yes,
but hers was authentically pure too. I don't think she was trying to fuck it up.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's in the same boat.
And I want to clarify to any sticklers out there that Pete's phrasing of what did you say? She had a famously terrible first pitch. That is correct because it is not infamous. It is a terrible first pitch, but it is beloved. No one is mad about that first pitch. No one is appalled by it. You see that and you're like, I fucking knew she had it, man.
I mean, it's definitely not as embarrassing as 50 Cent because like I would expect better from 50 Cent. I don't know if I'm expecting Carly Rae Jepsen to throw like a heater right down the middle.
Carly Rae Jepsen famously produces hits, and pitchers aren't good hitters. Hitters aren't good pitchers.
Right.
50 Cent, not known for hits at all. Peter Laviolette was officially been named the head coach of the Los Angeles Kings, and Elliot Friedman added Edmonton and Toronto were also interested. So Edmonton got snaked for their guy. Now they're going to have to settle for Bruce Cassidy or something in a month.
Yeah. We've got one more super chat. Emma, or a couple more. AEW1 says wrestling on Wednesday. My time has come. There you go. Emma says, do you kids have a pick for the Stanley Cup game tonight?
I don't. I'm still in my head about my cool suggestion that Carly Rae Jepsen, who, we're all very protective of Carly Rae Jepsen around here, that she's more than Call Me Maybe, but that I said with a straight face, Carly Rae Jepsen has hits and 50 Cent doesn't. I know that by the letter of what a hit is, 50 Cent has more hits, but that's just if you want to go by like what words
the normal
mean.
metrics.
You want the Billboard Top 100 to tell you who's the better artist.
Oh, you want the Billboard Top 100 to tell you who's had more Billboard 100 songs? Fine, simp.
You want to hear something that's going to make the chat fucking sick? Drake, first off, Janice, shut the fuck up. First hip hop song in history to debut at the top of as the #1 song in its first 2 weeks. And Drake is the first hip hop artist to have 100 songs hit the charts in history.
That's because he makes it.
That's an objective fact. I'm just saying. You want to bring up the charts? I didn't do it.
All right. Eli says just got 84-0 with 2020's Morgan Riley.
No, you didn't. Don't lie to me.
That's got to be a.
I call you Morgan Liley because that's not true.
That's got to be a bug.
Don't lie to me. That's what I was going to also say when you were talking about Carly Rae Jepsen having hits. The S is doing a lot of work there, and by work I mean lying.
Shut the fuck up, Sean. End the show. All right, everybody. We will see.
No. We do have to pay some bills.
Well, Sean ruined it.
Yeah. No. Sorry, Sports Interaction.
Everything
We're
I've
not
only said is
holding up
facts.
our end of the bargain, and you can blame Sean. They're like, we don't care who the fuck we blame. We're suing you.
You're still not getting the money.
Yes. Let's do some sports interaction, sports booking casino. Every game is your game when you play with Sports Interaction. Bet the action on every period, every shift, every shot with Canada's homegrown sportsbook. Sports Interaction, Ontario, only 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Sean, hit me with the slate, please, because we've got one game. It's the San Antonio Spurs visiting the New York Knicks. The Knicks are up 2-0 in this series. Now, don't get mad at me, everybody. This is an absolute that they're walking into are the Spurs, an absolute party. And everything has been a party for the New York Knicks since they have reached the NBA Finals. But I should note, the away team has won every game of the series. I'm just saying. The Spurs, despite being the away team, are underdogs in this game. Do they not know? Have they not followed the series? Do they not understand? This is an away team series. Spurs are just plus 110 to win. It's closer than you would think, but they are plus 110 on the money line.
Better team, I think, but obviously the Knicks keep winning the games.
Yeah. What did you have, Sean?
Well, I was going to say, I forgot what I was going to say originally. I know that Trump is going to be in the building. But yeah, I forgot what my original. I had an original point on the Knicks. I'm Knicks down though. I will say that.
People do be. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. Excuse me, hiccups. From puck drop to overtime, bet with live odds on every play with easy deposits and payouts. Go to sportsinteraction.com/whatchaos to open an account. Ontario only 19 plus. Please play responsibly. This show has been a freaking fiesta. Just straight up. Are we done with Super Chats?
We are, yeah.
Yes.
Very good. Congratulations to Peter Laviolette. It appears he has indeed been hired by the LA Kings.
Gainfully employed as of today. Love that for him.
So good. Yeah, people have noted Donald Trump is in the building for
and
Game 3.
They had to cancel the watch parties outside because of it, because it posed too much of a security risk, which obviously sucks because I hate to see people's fun get ruined for a bad person, but also is such a good reflection on how much of a party those watch parties are. If they feel the need, just people watching the New York Knicks, gathering to watch the New York Knicks is such a security risk that the president being in a building nearby means it can't happen at all.
Damn.
That New York fucking. Oh, what I was gonna say, the reason I had my hand up earlier is this series is so crazy that Mike Harrington is on Twitter praising Stephen A. Smith. Because Stephen A. Smith was talking to the Spurs and was like, y'all, this isn't Oklahoma City, this isn't Phoenix. You're going into New York. This is a whole different kind of energy. New York fans need to make them feel the weight of the world on their shoulders. And Mike Harrington quote tweeted it, was like, I don't usually praise Stephen A. Smith, but he's got a point here, basically. And I'm like, everything's broken if Mike Harrington is praising Stephen A. Smith on Twitter.
Big event at Madison Square Garden that is being dominated by one person. Shout out
Michael Jordan.
Shout out Hacks.
Yeah.
Shout out.
I haven't finished the season yet, so don't spoil anything.
That's gonna fuck you.
Shout
up.
out Rangers Pride Night.
I bet she's trying to play MSG.
Yeah. I gotta ask a question as a famous non-basketball head. I just want to genuinely ask a question. Is there a good reason as to why Victor Wembanyama just doesn't stand in the paint and get the ball every time and maybe use his 7'10" frame to put the ball in the bucket?
Well, he is. I mean, there is a 3-second rule, so you do have to move in and out of the paint.
I understand that, but he's got those 8-foot-long legs that he could just use to tap a toe outside of the paint and reset the clock.
He's tall. He's not the thickest, strongest guy. I think Cat can push him around a little bit. Also, it's not really how the style of basketball. Like bigs don't really contribute much if they can't spread the floor, and he can shoot threes. Like he can shoot from anywhere on the court, so he's a little more valuable. But I was seeing a video earlier about how the Knicks have gotten really good at making him uncomfortable, keeping it off his pace. I'm Knicks down though, so I don't know. But
I feel like Wemby's going to go for like he's got to go for like 40 tonight or the Knicks sweep.
I think that he could go for 40, and Josh Hart's going to have 8 of the most soul-crushing rebounds you've ever seen in your entire life, and it's not going to matter.
This guy loves Josh Hart rebounds.
Josh Hart's a fucking dog.
Sean watches basketball for Josh Hart rebounds.
I do. Josh Hart, the guy's out here not scoring a lick, not scoring worth a damn, but he's getting assists, steals, and rebounds. That's my kind of player. That's the kind of player that I would be, because I'm not good at basketball, which is not to say that Josh Hart's not good at basketball, but he's good at the stuff that people don't always want to do. And I think that, everybody talks about basketball being a social media league and a highlight league. Josh Hart's not getting loved for rebounds and assists, but he should, because he's a dog and he's trying.
We've gone 2.5 hours, and I have loved every second of it. Thank you to everyone who is hanging out. Thanks to everyone who is pressing like. Thanks to everyone who has fucked with our stuff on social media of late. We love you all. It's a mad week. It's a mad series, and I think that with all this Dylan Larkin stuff and trade stuff, it's only going to get crazier. So appreciate Shayna for coming by, not once, but twice. Appreciate Shayna for us saying we have a parasocial relationship with you, your boyfriend, and everyone in your life, including your dogs, and her being like, cool. It seems like that wasn't the first time she'd been told something like that. So everybody, we're just getting started for the week. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Love you. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to What Chaos here on YouTube. You will get everything, daily episodes, player interviews, and so much more. It's all here on the What Chaos YouTube. Hit subscribe.